things today?
Guaranteed.
Is it, so was it closed or is it just ticket?
No, there was no discussion.
Oh, so it just has to touch 180. It doesn't actually have to close
Cares
up
what
there?
the difference is.
Oh, I think
if it gets to 180, it gets to 180, right?
I think it makes a difference.
Does it?
From here to go over 4 trillion. The thing about the 3, the 4, like those big trillion numbers, they have been. You look at Apple. You look at when Microsoft did it. You look at when NVIDIA's hit those. They've typically been really good technical levels for pullbacks.
Right.
So it's a very big difference getting to 4 trillion again, or getting to 4 trillion and holding 4 trillion. Because I think when it sees it pulls away from it.
4.4 trillion.
Oh, it's 4. Oh, I heard wrong. Okay, never mind. I thought that was closer to the 4 trillion because I think it rejects 4 trillion the first time on NVIDIA, just like all the other names do with those big numbers. But we'll see.
So
that's the fun part about the market.
170, but I don't, so we tweeted something out right here. We want to say a big shout out to our guy Obi. First of all, a big shout out to Mr. Westermeyer. We appreciate everything you do. So at Bears versus Bulls right there, man. We're just going to be running this again just to show our appreciation again. And here we go, man. Here's Obi. So his shirt is Amazon. With a little upside there. So shout out to Obi as everyone gets ready to rock and roll tomorrow night. Unfortunately, my daughter grabbed a playoff game that day. I'm not super happy about it, but we'll be here for a drink and then see the boys paint the town, and we'll do family stuff. But yeah, shout out to Obi again right there. Go over on X here on the Twitter machine and get going on this one. Share it, like it, all of that. Show Obi some mad love for that. So shout out to Obi there as first and last graduate ever on the floor. So not first, but last. That's first one that you guys have ever seen, I think, on the floor, right? And so I don't think Luca did.
No, from show guys, because.
No, but none of those guys did, right? No,
just the manager guys happened while they were on the show.
Yeah.
Like you might have heard us go nuts when like Wayne graduated, but he's one of the risk managers. It sits behind that pillar right over there where I'm kind of trying to point to. But like the tone of the market, I heard the Playmaker poll went short and got stopped out. So I don't know. I mean, it feels like that the direction's right today for the market, but I guess. Overall, it's all a timing thing, I suppose, with that Playmaker poll. Because if you look at what's happened to this NASDAQ, it's been stair-step down. It's held a couple times the 21,000 level, but VWAP has not been wrong here for the NQ at least, holding underneath VWAP. So unless we break out above, short weak stocks, long strong stocks is kind of the way to go. I'm looking at SMCI and AMD. To the other direction, they're both very weak. Intel is actually strong today, but it's actually challenging the trend since VWAP right now. So I want to play this in either direction. But first, long the trend, if it breaks the trend, look for the short. And SMCI, now 13% to the downside SMCI. So yesterday it gapped up, but it's now filled in pretty much the entirety of the gap from when they reported those earnings that everyone had been waiting around for. So SMCI, it gapped up 21 or 22% yesterday. I wasn't here. I think it was somewhere around those lines, and right back to where it was before. NASDAQ red. Yeah, you got to find some strong stocks out there.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Okay, so we are just looking to see what exactly we want to trade today. We had a great call there. I mean, I don't know if you guys were part of the midday show or not. If you were, great. I mean, hope you've transferred over into this one. But we nailed Uber, man. Uber goes right up to the top of the P&L board after one trade. And there it goes, Uber right to the upside. We're out. I have less than 5% left of this Uber trade. Let's wait to see if we can make some magic with it now. But fading back in again, Tesla came through. Something about something, and then something, and then something else. And then all of a sudden, I was like, you know what? Let's try this Uber, right? Clearly went oversold there down to that downside. We let it sort of settle down, and then we grabbed it. So Uber right now, a nice little long. If you were joining me here on the midday show, that's where we took it. No, sorry, we took it right there off of, again, 200 period moving average. So yeah, man, so far so good. Amazon $1, NVIDIA's pulling right back in. And I mean, you know, we're holding small pieces of this, but I am trying to bid again more at 125.50 here for NVIDIA. So yeah, man, good trading for Amazon. Good trading for NVIDIA, good trading for Uber, great trading for Riley as well. There today, we won't lose our last 5% right there. Other than that, man, yeah, Palantir flat on the day for this stock as well. But yeah, all right, we're ready to go. Sharif's ready to go over there at the screen.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys are back. The original big boys. So they're locked and they're loaded and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers on there is to join Joe and I on the How to Trade show during the midday and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers. But you got to be a sub in order to participate with us in chat. So make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. A bit of a down day today, to say the least, on the futures. We're down here on the NQ about 2/3 of a percentage point. The ES faring much better. Down 0.15. The Russell 2000 down 1/3 of a percent. And last but not least, the Dow, the only one of the four major averages in green territory, up 0.5%. NVIDIA obviously is the first one on the block over here, down 4 1/5. Despite absolutely blowing through earnings, top and bottom line, beating the guide. Doesn't really matter though, guys. We're about 1% in the green in the pre-market, but that's as good as we could do.
That was good.
One, too?
Well
Nice.
played, well played.
Nice.
The Satoshi.
I like that.
Well played. I
gotta get your shirt
haven't thrown mine on. You know what? I'll throw it on after we do the rundown a quick second. But you know what? In the record aftermarket show last night, all you had to do was just blindly follow the action of that rinse up into the old options run where they just run prices to the upside and the downside, wick everybody out and don't go anywhere. Could just look at the top, look at the bottom, trade that. Doesn't break the top, short. Doesn't break the bottom, go long in there. Now, obviously, it's not that easy. But that said, there's a reason why you pay attention to where liquidity comes in and why instead of sitting there waxing poetic about whether this is going to be good, whatever, they made a lot of money. They're not growing quite as fast as they used to. But price action at the end of the day is going to matter. And price action showed you where the liquidity was going to be, at least where the buyers came in at the bottom. Got away with it today, I think, catching that falling knife or attempting several bounces on NVIDIA. Really just traded it 4 times. You had to wait for key price levels on NVIDIA. And if you waited for them, then you did okay because you had prior day lows, you had prior day close and pre-market. That was a fail. This one was okay down at 129. Then the 126 level was solid enough. So as long as you picked your shots, it was doable here on NVIDIA. But the overall tone, whoops, and that's not split adjusted. The overall tone is a loss of the 50-period moving average here in NVIDIA, letting it now cool down for a couple of days. The good news is it did, for now, it's holding the lows. So you could still get a consolidation in the next couple of days here. Going into Friday, it'll be interesting to see how this 125 level holds. Obviously, the 140 that Joe was talking about, it's not impossible for us to see that tomorrow, but I'd put that as extremely unlikely that we have any battle toward that 140. I think 125 and 120 are going to be the more important levels tomorrow for NVIDIA. And I still like I'm looking at 2 other chip names for try and roll in some shorts. That'll be, we already mentioned SMCI and AMD, which, if NVIDIA, if they don't like NVIDIA after a good print, how can they like AMD?
Right.
So in the short run, every day that NVIDIA doesn't look strong, AMD's a short.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I was saying. There's only really one stock to trade, and that would, of course, be that one. NVIDIA versus AMD. I mean, if you're going to be into something, you might as well be into the king. And we had sort of talked about that one. Look, I just went long again right now. So let's wait to see if this holds. But I'm trying to play off this low of the day. If it breaks it, we're gone. So I have another bid at 125.40, looking for it to break down below my stop order, just making sure it's in there right now. It came back, make sure. Yeah, breaking through 125, we're out of there. So NVIDIA has been a struggle today for sure, down that 4%. Looks like it wants to keep on going to the upside right there as well for a block. But at the end of the day, you keep on getting down there to 125.60. I think at some point it's going to break. So yeah, disappointment, I think, for anybody that's trading the chip names there today. We had a great show yesterday. It was kind of an obvious play, I think, that it wasn't really going to rip or anything there. But, that pre-market high, that was such a great short there, the 135. And I'm not talking about hindsight. I'm just talking about in general, whenever you look at earnings plays. If you don't, I know Neil was looking at getting short AMD there, it never came through. It's kind of the same thing. If you don't take out the pre-market high, then it doesn't really matter what your overall feeling is. That's just a short. I just feel for all earnings plays, it's like you're not going to stay in that zone. So you either break the pre-market bottom or you break the pre-market high. And today it gave you that real quick shot there as we ramped up right into the open. Remember, there was a buy imbalance. And then as soon as the open hit, if you were favoring short, then you had some easy stop outs to get this. So I feel like there's been a lot of money made today on the short of NVIDIA, but you had to be there. And I wasn't. So
Message Fabian.
A little bit of a thing there. Oh, Fabian took the shirt off already. So,
I was gonna.
okay, you can still get it on. We had a big picture there in the midday. Adara had her, Eli Lilly on. Sharif had his there.
See, this is
no, Sharif didn't. What was? Yeah, you did. What was?
What's? I haven't
What
seen.
was?
FTX.
Oh yes, the risk
That's
department. There.
Just hodl it.
Hodl it. That's a good one. It's a good one. You get like a little breakout happening there.
No, it's like the Nike swoosh too, right?
Oh, it's the Nike suit. Just hodl it. Yes.
Probably some kind of copyright problem, but who cares?
That's a great one.
You're
That's
go.
actually a great one there.
They're all fantastic. We were just worried that they weren't going to get here on time because.
I guess they were here a minute ago, but then Brankles was off for a couple of days, right? So.
Well, he only comes in. Well, what are we talking about next?
There's NVIDIA. I was just going to say there. So it just went up to 126. So I'm going to get out a little bit. We just bought some at 60s. We probably should have taken that 40 cents. But at the end of the day, I'm still waiting for 125.40. If that comes, great. If we break 125, we're out of this one. So, all right, Tesla, what an amazing stock there today. Let's go have a look at Tesla.
Yeah, continue, man. This came in midday there, that Tesla setting their sights on Waymo by applying for the transportation permit in the state of California. They're looking to take on Waymo there. Elon Musk also said that Tesla robotaxi service coming to Texas in June. He states that as like a foregone conclusion. The stock price not really reacting much on, though. We kind of zigged and zagged a little bit when we got that news. But guys, we're still down 1 2/3.
Like that one.
I think, look, those shirts are amazing, but I actually feel like I would want that for a cap too, like the just
hodl it.
The just hodl it would be a cool looking cap, or it would be like really cool to do like.
Like that one.
No, like you could have like Trader TV on the front, and then you could have like just hodl it on the back or something like that, or like those would be really cool.
I've been wanting to do.
It's not like those are copyrighted, like whatever. It's just a fun little thing. No one's made that up and copyrighted. I traded one time for Tesla. Basically broke trend, a day-long trend, one shot, and that was pretty much it. Like it came into 287 here, double topped it, broke the trend line. I said during the midday, I'm like, you know what? I'm probably going to look at only on trend or breaking trend trades for those like simple setups where I can get the break of like that bar when it breaks a trend and sort of give the stop underneath like right there. So a tight stop where there's nothing discretionary about it. Like I know exactly where I want to get in and get out. So I'd look for a trend reversal as well if it continues this one to the downside here on Tesla. Still bleeding. It did hold the 200-period moving average on the daily. This is a big level. It's not just the 200-period. Actually down here. Yeah, I mean, when we talked about this the last time, the stock is held a little bit higher, so the 200-period moving average doesn't sit exactly with this 270. But 270 was a monster level where we broke out from back in November. I think this is the next little stop here for Tesla. Right now, it looks like kind of one of those short till it's not situations for Tesla. That said, if it mean reverts off the low this afternoon, then that's a place that I'll try to go. Robotaxi news, I don't know. I feel like it's been those types of headlines have been more fades than anything else. I think like they haven't really sustained those types of headlines in either Tesla or Lyft, Uber. They tend to revert it one way or another, but it's not bad news. I think long run they'll get it done. They're just behind Waymo right now.
Almost like we predicted. I think yesterday on the show I was talking with Joe there, and I'm just like, look, man, they're like one headline away from getting right back to the upside there with Tesla. I don't know if that's going to be the right one there, but yeah, nice move there for TSLA. Okay, so it's about like a 2.5, 3 unit play here. We are long again on NVIDIA. I just want to let everybody know that this is not like we're not layering into this into the end of the day here. We are at day's low right now for NVIDIA, so we're going to try a day's low take on this play. That's it. And if it breaks through 120, which it's probably going to do, breaks through 125, then we're out of this trade and for 40-cent hit. Well worth the risk there for me on this play, and I hope it is maybe for you guys as well, but I'm in it right now. I'm in NVIDIA, so let's wait to see what happens there. Okay, so, all right, you just talked about Tesla. That's fine. we're actually going to get stopped out very soon here on Uber, because I don't want to hold this too much below. But this was the big trade for me off that same news. So I'm actually going to put a 76.19. If we break below that, we're going to get out on Uber right where we're in. But we hit this as soon as that news came out. And again, what we wound up doing was giving it a level there. As soon as we saw a level, I punched through 76.20. We got 24s. That was sort of that bottom. Let it settle down. I was giving this about 20 cents. So our first takes there, 20 cents. Then we had dollar up there on the upside. So 20 cents worth of a risk gives us this. We're holding 5% back in. There goes NVIDIA, by the way, through that 125. So we'll slap a fail on it. But at the end of the day, NVIDIA is fine. Like, we actually did good buying this back in and all the way to the upside. So quick, that's how you make money. Try to anyways. Hold the longs a little bit and then make sure that when you're wrong, you are getting out. We are going to be approaching that on Amazon as well. But yeah, Tesla gets back down near the bottom of the day. I think, again, probably worth something like that trade again. And we like that bounce back off the 200 period, I think it was, right, on the daily chart. So $280, a good level for Tesla. Let's wait to see where that goes. The next thing I'm taking a shot at is Amazon. So that's going to be coming up soon. All right, let's go over to HIMS.
Yeah, interesting, Sean. This one reported on Monday. We saw that algo spike move up, then it sold off aggressively. Still hasn't even come close to recovering some of those levels. So yeah, that report came in on Monday. Truist chiming in yesterday. No specific headline today. This Truist upgrade, this Truist headline is from yesterday. Maintaining their hold position, but boosting up that price target, guys, from 24 to 39. Not a bad look.
It was on the New York Stock Exchange, which I say out loud to remind myself, because
nice.
I don't know, like I've done it and I just did it again. I typed in NASDAQ because it's just an old habit, man. Old habits die hard. Yeah, I tried VWAP one too many times on HIMS. Or I shouldn't say VWAP. I should say 44, because I was getting out before it broke VWAP. So on the way up, we played it a couple times above the high breaks, but not at the actual high of the day. Was green on it, then went back into red when I tried the long off 44 twice. HIMS, it's a big short float, and I do still feel like that pullback, look, the stock basically gave back 50% in a week and then held the 50-period moving average. So after this bounce, like I want to favor longs in the short term here on HIMS, and it was that kind of a V-shape morning that had me wanting to look for longs. There's just no follow through. So unless it can start making like higher lows again, or maybe even taking out the top, in a general sense, I'm going to be looking for longs because it's got the nice stair step up, because it lost 50% in that last 5 or 6 trading sessions. I just want to see that roll back through, take out 46. But right now it's making lower highs and lower lows. So it needs to break that trend for this afternoon to take some more longs in HIMS. It's kind of an example of like sometimes, the first couple of shots are good, but if you keep taking like lower lows into the long on something, eventually you should usually just give up on it and move somewhere else.
I want to look quickly over here at Riley. I didn't trade HIMS today, but yeah, so this came back right into yesterday's close. So I think that would have been something to look at for sure. Right into there, that 580 mark. So we actually hit this right there. It was a nice trade. We did hold that last 5% and got out for flat, but 580 coming in for Riley could be something. If that does drop in at the end of the day, I mean, you're underneath VWAP. I do think there's some pressure on it. So if this comes back into an area that we know has some buy support, I just think you need to be ready to go. So we're ready to go on Riley. So we'll wait to see if that winds up filling down here at 580. So that would be a play there. And yeah, HIMS, I mean, Obi had a great trade off earnings the other day. And it looks like today, yeah, I mean, again, right off the open, right? I mean, it goes right down in there, gets sort of oversold there on the RSI, just like it got overbought right there. So yeah, good name maybe to look at if you're watching RSI and whatnot. But HIMS, I'm more about hers. What's up, Sharif?
I like that one, Sean. All right, guys, Amazon down 1%. Couple of positive headlines, though. This is the one we woke up to, that they're throwing their hat into the quantum ring. They announced a new quantum computing chip Ocelot, I don't know, I can't speak English. Ocelot chips using for scalable architecture for reducing error correction by up to 90%. It's still not as robust as Microsoft's quantum chip that they did release, I believe, a couple of weeks ago now. So I'll have to keep an eye to see how that all does. They released this headline as well. Amazon plans to unveil a new Alexa device in the fall, says CEO Andy Jassy.
Get it, Andy.
Yeah, get it, Andy. Yeah, get it, Andy. You just keep on getting it, Andy. Yeah, right now, NVIDIA, we did go back into that long. I don't know where it's going to go from here, but okay. Look, Amazon, wow. This was fun. We had it written down on our sticky note as a trade that we wanted to take, and we had written down 215 as a level, and the problem is it just came right in. We liked how it got going early. We were like, okay, this is going to be the one there today, but it was not the one. It was not even close to the one. It just dropped all the way. It just kept on going, gone, until eventually we were able to pick it up at the bottom and then just run this thing right back to the north side. So that was good, right back into VWAP. Again, you got to trade names that move like this almost as if it's earnings season, and you get a fade back up to VWAP, you're supposed to be getting out of that position. So right now, it does appear that we are going to get a little oversold, and I'm going long right now. Actually, okay, I'm going to take it right here at 94s, but I was bidding 80s. I think we just got missed by like a penny or something there. I thought we were going to get filled for sure, and we didn't. We're bidding 80s. It went to 80s. That sucks. So that's 25 cents there we just missed. We should have been long there. We should have been long a minute ago when we broke through on NVIDIA. So missed opportunity right there for Amazon. But I'm going to try it off that bottom again to see if we eventually find some support. We know the name can rally. This is what I'm talking about. I think a lot of these names are at a spot where it's worth the risk to reward. Right now to try to go long and see if you can get some little juice here into the afternoon. So we'll wait to see where it goes from here. But right now, Amazon looking like it does want to get back to those lows. I'm out if it does break the bottom. Sad moments for Amazon, man. I mean, it's been a big move down.
It's really great.
You don't even have too many you don't have actually any green days at all. It's been about 2 weeks of straight downside pressure, finally falling into that 210. It looks like we're going to have to see that again before it bounces. So right now, 212 and change. It's embarrassing, man. We missed that fill by half a penny. So there it goes, upside on Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon, I just made a mental note on Amazon. And by mental note, I mean I actually wrote it on the iPad. But first, before I get there, Intel just lost this 24.15, which we were long in front of 24.20. It just lost the local bottom in there. So maybe you see VWAP. The market's still trending down. I don't want to fight it. It's been a strong stock. It's up 2.8%, but pulling back in here is Intel. So we're now out of that long underneath that 15 level. But Amazon, it's not having a great day today, but the bottoming tail wick looks fantastic. The mental note I made to myself was that I want to be stink bidding the 200 on this one. Oddly enough, the 200 period moving average on Amazon is at 200, which makes it really, 199, which makes it very simple. But this is among the names that is in the dip buy at the 200 list. I want to try to stay in the stronger names. I think this year provides us with some dip buy opportunities. And I'm not trying to pick bottoms. I'm just trying to DCA into the ones that I like. And whether it's the overall market, Amazon, NVIDIA, Meta, I tend to like a little bit better than the other big cap tech names, or Mag 7, and that's what we're supposed to call them in there for sure. So yeah, going to be looking at that one. If we do break those fresh lows, I think that's a good place to start back into it.
Yeah.
Mara had stellar earnings yesterday, guys. An earnings surprise of, I believe, about 400 some odd % in terms of EPS. They beat on the top and bottom line. They guided well. Everything is hunky-dory there, or so it seems. They're up 8.5%, guys, but still off the highs.
All right, before we do that, we're going to talk about OGen right now because this is very, very important to us. We've talked about this Oragenics over and over again. Each year, over 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., yet there's still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE-listed Oragenics OGen is changing that with its first in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach over $8.9 billion by 2027, Oragenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Make sure you schedule a meeting today and click on that or scan that QR code, check the link in description as well to find out more about Orogenics. And again, a very important thing, to focus on and to support. So, all right.
Yeah, shout out to
Mara. I mean, I didn't do anything with Mara here today. It looks like this market's giving it up right now, though, pretty good into that downside. As the NASDAQ comes right into 20,090 again, 20,900 again. That's where we wicked down to. We got about 3 handles underneath that. So here we go, man. I mean, I'm wondering if the better play right now, I mean, I'm into Amazon, I'm into NVIDIA here, but I'm just wondering if the better play might simply just be to trade the futures all the way down here because it's getting a little dirty and try to chase stock. I mean, NVIDIA's not having a greatest day right now. 124.50, we lose that, we're out of there. And then there's the reload on Amazon. We said we were waiting for 211.80s, and that's right where it is, so we take that bid as well. So, all right, here we go. Some nice downside moves. I didn't trade Mara today. I think you did anyways.
I did trade Mara, and we were just sort of talking about Mara and their Bitcoin purchases. I was like, oh, Mara just bought Bitcoin over 100K.
Yeah.
I was wrong. ChatGPT says in December they bought 1.1 billion worth of Bitcoin at an average price of 96,000. So, I mean, that doesn't really, whatever. It's out of the money right now, clearly because we're at 84. Had a breakout trade on Mara, but the only misstep was reloading it, because it was a clean breakout on Mara at 14.4. Let me just put this on the 15-minute chart so you can see a little bit better, like why are we taking this breakout. There's the breakout. It went right into this 1480 and turned around, but I reloaded it on the way back down and then stopped out underneath 14.2. Sometimes you should be looking at this for a reversal. I wasn't as bearish as necessary, but you know what, this is actually, it's breaking trend, but it probably already broke trend here on Mara. Might have to look for something which is breaking a top trend that we can get into. Because I just looked over, I said, SMCI, like, is there something available? LOD, I don't want to punch short at the low of the day.
Legion of
I looked
Doom.
over at, but they were.
The Legion of Doom.
They were
Hawk,
legendary.
Hawk and Animal.
Hawk and Animal. I don't know where you put them. They're easy. I mean, they're easy top 3 or 4, but.
Tag team?
You don't think so? The Legion of Doom is not top 3 or 4 all time? British Bulldogs.
Yeah, I mean, there's the
Legion
Heart
of
Foundation.
Doom, Heart Foundation,
Yeah,
like
we got
there's.
that. I mean,
that's tough.
I have to think about it again to see what there's the Rockers, Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty, but
Okay,
they're all
that's true.
they're all
There's a lot.
there.
There's
They're
actually
all,
a lot.
They're all there.
AMD just broke low of the day as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Like,
So
this
did
is,
Amazon here.
It's just Bleed City with the market down 1 1/3. It's got to be something which is in the early throes of its move.
I just shorted NVIDIA going through the bottom.
Could have just
I'm
reversed
gonna wait
Intel
for that
right
to
away.
See what winds up happening now.
Wow.
All right, so here we go. Let's just see what winds up happening. All right, so NVIDIA, we've just been getting messy with it right here. I mean, we tried to go long, didn't work. We got out. Now I'm going to go short. We had made this play before. Once it breaks, you kind of get short. Like, what is that candle showing me right here? That is 124.70. So that's kind of where we're going to know we're wrong if we do cover up that last candle. But we're going to go short right now, trying to flip it up on this play. So we're going to do that. We're going to go short and see if we can get a little bit of a winner now. Short 123.90. It's just right here, hoping that we can get a downside push even further on NVIDIA. I mean, down now 6%. What if? Look at the NASDAQ, man, getting absolutely clocked today. We came in with this NASDAQ being up on the day, and now it's just like, and we've seen this happen in the afternoon. I think this is well worth it. Again, I'm going to average it up as we get into 124. I do think there will be some push and pull here, obviously. Doesn't seem like a straight line to the downside. We could get a little bit of trouble, but you know, at the end of the day, I think this is worth at least $1. Let's see if we can hold that right now. Obviously, underneath here, relatively oversold, but at the end of the day, better to go short than long, it seems like. And we have our target out, right? If this goes against us, 124.50, 124.60, then we'll get out if we cover up that 5-minute candle right there, kind of where we started. I'm not going to go all the way back up here. That's too high. But if we just make back that last 4 or 5 minutes, then we'll get out. So right now, yeah, on the way down goes everything. We did battle back on Amazon. Amazon did break that low as well. So there, just an average in and then an out, right? I mean, it looks like this one would have been better to short. No, not really. That's only 30 cents in the money.
Low of the day right now.
Yeah, everything.
I'm trying to grab Mara before it gets to the low of the day. And we'll get to the super chat here, Nimrod. I appreciate the super chat as well. But I want to be in this before we get to the low of the day here on Mara. Bitcoin just tagged 84,000.
Trying to cover a little bit.
Pretty much clean. Like, we're about to break 84,000 even on BTC. You're right in there if you check on Binance. I want to be in the short before you get to the lows. The super chat was... you got in some trouble with the SEC, LOL, flagged your account for wash trading, saying some of your small ticker volumes and volumes and deals were suspicious. Can't understand what I did wrong. Ever happened to you guys? Yeah, well, I mean, usually, if you got a wash trade rule or issue like that, like you'd know what it is that you did wrong. Like maybe it was you're under PDT and you made too many trades. There's a lot that could be going on here, but you should get clarification. Like if you've done something wrong, they should be telling you what it is that you did wrong. The thing that doesn't make any sense to me is some of your small tickers volumes and deals were suspicious. So like that would, it sounds to me like you're saying the trades would be suspicious, and I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, Nimrod, but it would be suspicious if you weren't told what it is that was possibly done wrong in there. In and of itself, just getting in and out of some small cappers shouldn't be a problem. But if you are under the PDT rule, that could be it. We don't have that rule here in Canada, and we traded a prop floor, so it doesn't really apply to us.
Yeah, no, we don't. We trading prop money, so they would never message us about anything. So yeah, just make sure. I mean, again, thanks for the super chat. But I mean, you know what you did wrong. I mean, they would obviously would say.
Yeah, they tell
so,
you. Ideally. Not the same story.
Yeah, same story. We just heard about Tesla again launching that service there in California. So we'll wait to see the robotaxi. Again, it's too bad. Like Tesla could be down a lot more than that today. We did get a little bit of a rebound there on some volume in the midday as that kept on going back up there to the upside. So look, man, I only took out 20%, but we did take it out at 50s. So we did get 50 cents worth, or not 50 cents, 40 cents or so worth. We got some 55s out. NVIDIA is still doing a little bit of a dance down here. So not sure where we're going to wind up right now. But all right, Uber's pulling back. Obviously, look at that move down for Uber right now. And that's where you get out. Like we always talk about this, man, be a risk manager. I mean, Uber's going to be, actually, now that I look at this today, it'll be PNL number 1 just on this little play. And then PNL number 2 will be Riley. We did give back some Amazon there, red there, red on NVIDIA as well now, waiting for this trade to settle. So yeah, rough day for sure, man. I mean, it's, you know, it hasn't been easy here today trying to chase some of these names. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening, but it looks like a good play for us here on NVIDIA. And I'm glad we were able to flip up short, man. We definitely have that ability. We have that trade in our pocket. And there it goes to the downside. There's a nice fill. Let's go. Let's see if we can diamond hand man this one as well, down to the downside, because there it goes. There it is. Nice little 70-cent ticker win right there for the short on NVIDIA. So, you know, lose a little, try to make a lot, and let's see where we go from here. I'm also bidding 11s just because it's ahead of 10s. So if we can get that filled, that would be nice. The low of the day is 123.14. So we're just a little under that, and we'll see if we get the fill. But hands off, there it comes. Give it to me. There we go. We somehow, there it is. We get the 11s as, yeah, almost $1 right there immediately. What's up, Ozan? I don't see you in the chat right now, but we'll put $1 on this as there goes NVIDIA. I hate celebrating it because it's a downside move, but Neil, we just made $1.20 in about 2 minutes as we continue to go to the downside here on NVIDIA. I'm glad we switched up our game plan.
Yeah, I got to get into the shorts. There's no question. That's the right thing to do, and I think it was a great call for sure. I was just long Intel like percent ago, and it just broke VWAP. So now I'm going to short VWAP because I like that in the afternoon. I just feel when you're breaking lows like this, even the strong stocks, at some point they're going to participate in the party. So I'd like to be short before it breaks this opening, not opening range, but breaks the support from midday at 24,380. So we can get it in here underneath VWAP, underneath 24, going to jump into this. Wanted to find something which was strong before and gave us that short. Bitcoin's now at 83.7. You know what? Let me just pull up. I just go over to Bitcoin because this is a pretty decent sized move here on BTC. There is no, like when you pull this out on the daily, you're underneath the first pullback when we made that big breakout on the daily was right to 85. And now you're underneath that 85 at 83.5 and trending down pretty heavily here on Bitcoin. If you look at the 15-minute, oh yeah, the scaling. It always does this. Every time, whatever. I'm going to get off these charts. Find some other ones. If you look at the 15-minute, you do have some lows going back into Wednesday that you could still get to. But yeah, this is the rollover happening in Bitcoin. That's why I jumped over to Mara before it broke the low of the day. It's now testing that low of the day. I'm trying to add to it in front of 13.4 as far as where the bottom could be. I mean, it closed at 12.45 yesterday. It had a high, at least before the aftermarket, of about 12.9. All this is aftermarket action on Mara. Well, I mean, they reported, so that's why you saw it spike in there. But 1290 was that prior high. I think that's the ultimate target here for Mara, and want this Intel short VWAP as long as we're able to grab it. Yeah, so there's a lot that, I mean, Bitcoin, if we hold underneath 85, that breakout was in the 70s that everyone was waiting for. It's not ridiculous that we could retest those. I think that's a buy. Let's go to Adara.
Just some more context here. So in case you missed it, we had Uber dropping earlier today along with Lyft after it was reported that Tesla filed for a permit for California with regards to this taxi service. Now Washington Post reporting more details here. Apparently Tesla's looking to launch a free taxi service in California. So not only is Tesla looking to launch this taxi service, it is going to be free, as reported by Washington Post. So apparently they will eventually likely move to a paying service with paying passengers. Going to start free, reportedly. This is the Washington Post reporting that Uber and Lyft could be at risk as Tesla does look to launch this free taxi service. Back to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, is tough to compete with there.
Well, I mean, but at the end of the day, like, it's just about getting that.
Yeah.
It's getting your foot. It's getting your foot in the door, getting those hours testing. You know, like it's like build it up. You want the riders so you can get it out there. They've all got so much data. It's going to be so hard for anyone that isn't Google or Tesla to crack that, just because of the absolute volume that they already have training their AI for the automated driving. So one of them's going to, you know what, there doesn't have to be one. They can both win. No question about that. I don't know why it has to be so binary. And then I can see some partnerships, like Uber's going to partner with somebody. Although I don't think Tesla would, because Tesla, like Elon's going to go with the X app, right? Like that's what he's always wanted. So he's going to want his own platform. Yeah. I think I can see X turning into like the everything app that he wanted with ride hailing and delivery and you know, they have Grok for the AI search. Like there's so much that they could do with that. I think that's going to be in the cards. So I got Intel underneath VWAP. The market still bleeds. And you went over some key levels for the futures already, which I think are going to come into play. Oh, another stock. So there's Intel underneath VWAP. I have a bid here in front of that 2380 that we're talking about. Apple had been very strong all day long. It's bouncing off VWAP as we speak. So, and then there was one. I don't know, maybe there's something else that's holding above VWAP right now. But Apple, the only Mag 7 that I've looked at today, it's still green on the day, and it's holding on to VWAP. So this could be the last one at this 240 level. It hasn't held VWAP clean. It's been wicking underneath, but every time it's managed to close back above, it's been a good long off of that. So this is a key candle on the 3-minute here, at least for Apple. If this closes it above, I think it's held on to the long. If it doesn't, well, 240 breakdown short on Apple, because that's a little bit of a late runner. And that way you can risk it to like the quarter, relatively tight risk. So just going to see where this candle closes here on Apple. Show me another Mag 7 name, which is trying to hold green. Well, I haven't seen it.
No, we did get into a new Mag 7 name, though. Let's hit the sirens up here for Google. So we're into this one here. We'll talk about some Waymo. I mean, we talked about, you know, how it's going to affect Uber. I mean, it should affect Google and Waymo as well. So we'll play it as if it's not that big of a deal and then wait to see what the market thinks about it as well. So we're long here at 80s, just right here. Trying to play off of this level. I feel like, you know, we already, so we're getting less and less into NVIDIA. We only have a third left. But at the end of the day, this is holding. You know, NVIDIA broke the bottom, so did Amazon. So right now, we're going to wait to see if Google wants to hold. So I'm layering it up. Like I got another bid at 169.50, then I have another bid down here at 169.25, and we'll see if it wants to break that ultimate low that we put in earlier on down there at 169 flat. So that's going to be the day's low there for that. Okay, so just to see what's going on here, we do have some good fills on NVIDIA, man. We have sub 123s. So here, okay, here comes again. Let's put out another bid. So there we go. We'll buy some more down here at 123. Again, just making sure that we get out. Like this is a good move down. We're making back a little bit of what we lost right there. I'll put another bid right here just in case it just in case it holds. So right now we're down to about 25% of this position left. My stop is at 124. So I could see a capitulated move back up to the upside at some point here with tons of volume today, over 300 million shares. It's probably do 400 or 500 million. So I could see someone coming in and trying to buy this up. It's a good value right here, down 6% today. I don't know if it's good value, but if you liked, what I'm saying is if you like the report and you open up your eyes and you're seeing down 6%, maybe people do step in and buy. I don't know. We'll play that for what it's worth as well. We also said the futures might be worth it, but the futures broke right there. So again, I think it's a cat and mouse game where if you're trying to play the bottoms, you have to get out immediately when they break, because then that happens, and then don't be afraid to wind up reversing into your spot, right? All right, why did JP Morgan just fill up on my sheet there. All right, it's probably because it's hitting. Okay, so yeah, day's low down there for JP Morgan, right into the day's low. Looking like, I mean, most of these stocks will be like that. I just wanted to look at it because this bank name is up. And it's looking,
Oh, that was me.
again, you want a little bit more diversification, you have it right there because now you're into the 50 period for JP Morgan. So you want to talk about a drop out of nowhere. Yeah, not nowhere, all-time highs, back into the 50 period moving average. Look at this thing, hug that 50 period all the way. So if you're going to go all the way back to November of 2023, the first time that we were actually under it for a while, right? We were under it for about 10 days, 1 or 2 days, 5 days. So right now, JP Morgan trying to battle with demons down here. I think it's a good buy at 260. If you want to get some kind of name, some kind of banking name. I mean, it's going to be
I'm on the bit of
Hood?
ETF. I have to make a correction, and thank you everyone in the chat that pointed out that it looks like, and I'll have to double check to see why, but it doesn't matter why. My VWAP on Apple is incorrect. And the first thing I did when you guys put it in the chat that it was incorrect is I said, just typed it what I was seeing. I just went over to eSignal to a second source to confirm that you guys are right. This one is VWAP and Apple is underneath VWAP. It is not above VWAP. It is weak, whatever. It's not a huge deal, but part of the reason I was looking for that long is that it was above VWAP, and it is absolutely not. So you guys were right. It is underneath, as referenced by that eSignal chart that I just threw up there. And shout out to eSignal. That's not not everyone out there is going to have two sources for your charting, but you know what? Anyone can do it for free for a month on eSignal if you wanted to have a second source, just to confirm. Like sometimes at the open when things go crazy, or just like right there, it's like, hey, that could be wrong. It just gives you that second source to be able to know that you're confident in your levels and your indicators out there. I start my data at 6 a.m., but that wasn't the issue with the Apple chart. So it doesn't really matter why, but we figured that one out. The market continues to head to the downside. Intel just tagged 2375. When I say the market, I mean the NASDAQ specifically. There doesn't seem to be too much out here. If we let this one load up, come on, NASDAQ chart. Load, PC, load letter. Doesn't seem to be too much support out here on the NASDAQ. I'm just going to throw out the Qs and show you guys a daily on the Qs, because ultimately, I think it's a short till it's not. And until you get to like 502, 503, that's where the next level of support has been on the triple Q. I'm not saying it's going to that level, but the overall market doesn't have a heck of a lot. That's the 502 half, and then this is 500 even. So yeah, you've got some room to the downside here. No questions asked. So jumping into the shorts, I think, was the right way to go about it. I haven't seen any small cappers blowing up my indicators, looking for some things that might be breaking. And when the market's down like this, a lot of times that's where I'd be looking for longs, some kind of small capper that's trying to go. But I just haven't seen any.
All right. Yeah, I'm not even looking at small caps right now. We're looking and ringing the Reggie right here on NVIDIA as it just. Again, a good short came through, and we took it. So, yeah, the first short that we've had all day was on that low of the day break here into the close. So I'm only bidding 50s. I'm bidding O's. We'll see if we can get. Am I still hella long? Yeah, Tony, I'm long everything. I am hella long everything in my account. I barely sold anything. I'm long. I'm forever long. So I'm just waiting to buy the dips. I mean, I haven't. We bought some Tesla at 330. That was a mistake. We sold some Palantir at 114. That was right. So it's just like, I'm not, we're sitting on cash, but we didn't sell anything at the top. It's all new cash. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening. I'm not going to panic. You guys know that some of the recent buys that I've made, I mean, remember when we were buying Berkshire? I was talking to Mateo about this too, and it's just like, yeah. Thanks, Ramin. Yeah, we were buying this one down here, at the 200 and at the 50 period moving average. Berkshire's to the upside, right? We were buying some S&P. We buy some weighted there in Canadian funds as well. So yeah, I mean, so far so good. Right now, let's go right now as well. Spend a little bit of money here for Google, as we did dip by that one. So now we can see if we can get back up to the upside right now on Google. So yeah, forever long is right, Sebastian. So we'll be forever long. I'm not going to sell anything. I don't need to raise cash for any sort of a reason right now. I mean, look, you guys know we made that trade on Amazon down there at, and this is the thing, right? I'm trying to build generational wealth. I'm not trying to make an income. I got an income. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build positions on stocks that I like. When Amazon went down here, I told you this is going to be a vacation stock. It was already, like when it got to 200, we're like, we're going on vacation. So then when it got to 240, you know, if I sold there, then I wouldn't have been able to have this. No matter what, we're still doing okay. I think the worry starts to happen is like once you start to break through some of these 200 period moving averages, because if I've done nothing over the last month and a half, 2 months, then you're kind of just right back to where you were at that time. So all I've really lost is unrealized gains. And I mean, you know, I'm comfortable in my own skin here, so we'll just do that. And it is all about generational wealth because that's what I'm building, and we've been doing that for a minute. So, all right, Google's starting to go back up to the upside. That's going to be a good one. All right, what's up, Miss A?
Keep an eye here on PEPG. I know we had Neil mentioning there weren't that many small caps running, but just as he mentioned that, I actually did see this popping up on my volume scanner. So PEPG still near its highs. No news on PepGen, but it is worth noting PEPG does have about a 12 million share float. I know it's been moving over the past few days as well. Sharif has mentioned this one a couple times on the midday. So PEPG, possible small cap contender here. Back to you.
Very much, Adara. And look, well, it's going up. I kind of like to see in the afternoon, like breaking out the highs, experiencing new volume or like more volume than prior than the morning, or at least breaking out in volume terms. That's why I like to have the volume indicator up. It's like a nice, easy sign that something's actually happening on it. I just jumped out of Mara. Mara just took out the 1340. We're shorting underneath 1340. It got as low as 13.2, but we're going to jump out of that one. We'll see if it can continue to work into the downside. Intel's starting to bounce back up. It's going to be all about VWAP here, as that sits at 23.9. So if it breaks out at VWAP, we'll jump out of that trade. Intel was a long, then into a short. And as far as I'm concerned, you have to prove to me that you reverse this move to the downside. Apple is still looking pretty decent, though. Regardless of where a VWAP shows on this chart, it did still hold $240 here. So just understand that VWAP's a bit off on this chart. I still haven't figured out exactly why. Doesn't really matter. But you've held on to the 240 level. So what I look for is a break of trend. I don't like this trend, but if you look at this trend into VWAP, like the deeper trend, if it can break this, play at 240.40 into that 80 level and then back into the high. So it held on at 240 even. If it can break this steeper trend line that it just put in into 240.5, I'd look for that breakout there on AAPL. So you know, this is one that's got some higher lows on it still, despite the fact that it's now red on the day. Apple, a lot of things are going to be red. But like I said, I think there's a lot of buying opportunities out there. Throw some stink bids on the stocks that you like, because we got 2 years of 20% up. This is not going to be that type of market this year. This market is going to be way more choppy, and I like buying dips in that kind of a market. And DCA, I'm not about trying to pick bottoms. I'm just about trying to get build positions or increase positions in stocks. We like sometimes get into new things. One of them is kind of ARM. Like I have an ARM position, but that's a stock that I kind of feel like I bungled on the way into it after the IPO, because I didn't just buy the IPO price. That was a mistake, and I said sometimes if you really like it, you know, just get into like. The best example would be, let's say you want to put 10 grand into a stock. You don't know where the bottom's going to be. Well, just buy 2 or 3 grand at the IPO, and then worry about where you're going to get into the rest instead of trying to always get the lows. You know, you can't always do that. So that's one stock I'm trying to get myself into a little bit more this year. And I feel like the market's really going to oblige me on that one.
Yeah, you can get all you can eat right now. All right, so 169.80. Again, good longs there for us on Google. We're only at a 10% though. We're trying to roll. So let's see if we can roll upside right now on that. Got some out in the 50s right there on NVIDIA. So now we have about 15% left or so on it. Remember, we talked about it when we were down here that we only had a third left. Got some more out right there. So far so good on this short. I'm getting out if it breaks 124. So I'm just not going to let this one go against me. So that will be that. And then hopefully we can get some upside movement in Google, which will help us with that play. Amazon, I was debating getting long here, breaking through 211. If it does get back there to the upside, we can take that level and then just play off 210.50. But we are right here right now. Do we want to catch a falling knife? I mean, you're going to get better spot better price to buy Amazon right here. You are barcoding like that, so maybe something coming through. All right, so NVIDIA just broke, whatever. We got out literally at 01s there, break, fade back. Maybe now it reverses itself and gets back to the downside off of that one little break there. It looks like it gets as high as, it looks like other people exited that as well. 124.14s was the high. We actually got a 1, so I think we did pretty good there for getting out. But at the end of the day, still retracing off of it. So there goes NVIDIA. Looks like that would have been a good short. People say like some people's stops are other people's entries. So that would have been a good one right there if you were able to get into something. Let's check out Big Bear AI quickly here. Ooh, down to $5. I'll probably buy some more of this one. Again, I like it. I like the play here. Does remind me a little bit about Palantir. You know, we had to go back and forth with Palantir. We were long Palantir when it was $7-8, right? We were long at my biggest position was the direct listing price at $9.25. And then it went up to $30 or $40. It came back in. So all these names have opportunities to go up and down and around. And I mean, you know, the biggest win, I think, for myself would have been that Palantir trade, and we were able to get it out of it on the way up. We got out some in the 80s, some at 114 is our highest there. We don't have anything out in the 130s or anything like that. Okay, so if NVIDIA can come back to the upside right now, I wonder if that is going to be a good long breaking through the 50-period moving average. We pick our poison right here, though, with Google, and let's see if that one wants to work. And I am debating punching that long on Amazon there as well. We've really done well on Intel lately. This could also be a good dip buy opportunity down here into some supported areas that we've seen at the beginning of the day as well, right into here. So something that has not taken out the bottom of the day. Intel still up that 1%. I like the stock. I think it's worth a try here against 2370. I'm going long Intel. There it goes, Neil, right now, instantly. Let's see if we can get some money here on Google. You know, I'm offering 89s, so hopefully there it is. So it just fills us up there through 89. Big trade alert here on Google, guys.
There you go. And you like long in Intel? I think it needs to break this bottom. And if it doesn't, at this point, I'm going to throw the stop.
Oh, you're on Intel. Oh, no, you're short on Intel.
Oh, we're short VWAP on this.
Yeah.
You know what? I got to slap a fail on this because I said I'm only going to take, I did say this in the middle of the day, I was only going to take mean reversion trades on Intel. And then I had this long off 24.20, which it's a support there. It's a prior high. So I kind of went into support and resistance mode. But that was after it, broke this trend. So this should usually be a short in the afternoon. Like you broke trend line, you consolidated, that should be a short. We're in it off VWAP, but if it breaks back above VWAP, I'm jumping out of the trade. I just went over to, SOUN is reporting tonight, SOUN, at least last time I checked.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, this is another one of these, has pulled back a bajillion percent and is now bouncing off a major moving average. And I kind of like these types of plays. Now, I don't know if we're going to get a chance to maybe retest and revert off the bottom here because it might have already done it. But the 200's at 8. You've already made a higher low on the daily. But I'm kind of thinking this is your low, yesterday's bottom, today's bottom, or double barrel. Look, mean reversion off a 9. And with the market trending down into it, I think there's a decent chance. It's actually $9.10 is the technical low, not at 9 even. But if this does a trend break off of 910, I'm also looking at SOUN in addition to being an Intel. SMCI is on the radar as well for a possible reversion trade as it's breaking down through the low. It's short sell restricted, SSR down 15%, but it's got a very good trend pretty much for the entirety of the day that it's held onto here in SMCI. So if that one breaks a trend, I'd look for a little bit of a bounce. We're about to head into power hour. Don't necessarily love shorting anything at the low of the day. I want something that's room to the low or reverting off of the low of the day. The fact that it's SSR here in SMCI, and will be again tomorrow, by the way, gives it a little bit of extra juice if it does eventually break this trend. So there's a trend on the 15. Right now it corresponds with breaking 44. It's going to hit save, so that's there the next time I pull it up. But SMCI, just looking for a little breakout here, close above trend line, and long into VWAP for SMCI. But it's got to break trend, otherwise I'm not going to go long on this one.
All right, we did get a bottom there on Intel, so let's wait to see what winds up happening. We told you where our stop was going to be, breaking back down through that 70. So if we break through 70 on Intel, then we will fly away from that one. I'm going to offer, like, if we can get like some I'm offering 84s, but I don't know, that tops, yeah, 83, 84 seems to be okay. So we'll see where that prints out for us, hopefully eventually to that upside rate now on that play. So we'll have to wait. I don't think with the share sizes that I'm trading, I mean, if I can get 10 pennies on this, that would be fantastic. So we'll wait to see if we can get up to Neil's level there. But here it goes, nice little move there on Intel, nice upside play there. Let's see if it goes. We're only long at 78, but you know, we don't want to take 3 pennies. So, okay, here goes Google again. It's having a hard time with 170, so that could be something to look at. We've been getting some more outs here. I still have 75% of this position, so we'll wait to see what winds up happening up there in and around 170 right now for Google. I do have an offer at 170 flat, so hopefully that will hit, and then we'll be able to see what winds up happening after that. Looks like it was a great call on NVIDIA. We really made the most of it, almost as most as we could on this play. I mean, we hit it, a lot of outs down here near 123.20s. So we wound up making 70, 80 cents on that, and it looks like we did a good job getting out, as there it goes, pushing higher. Right now is NVIDIA to the high side. So good out there at 124. We didn't take Amazon because we were into Google, but this could also be a break. I don't know, it's down 1.65%. I'd like to see it rally a little bit. I'm almost wondering if the better play though, like why do we have to take single stock risk? We can just look at the futures. And if you think that it's gonna hold, you know, definitely oversold down there. But at the end of the day, it's looking like the same thing as Amazon. It needs to take that level, right? So that's 74.50. So you can get upside there. Let's go. We're already labeled into this, man. I mean, we've got a good trade on Google. That's 40 cents in the money. And yeah, just letting it settle down. Again, want the market to go up, but we don't have a choice. Like I can't just say, oh, I think the market's going to go up, therefore it's going to go up. We have to trade out of the positions when you see the profits come through. We've seen this day get real nasty real quick, and it can get a heck of a lot nastier than where we are right now. The NASDAQ being down 1.5, ES only down 0.8. So we saw the bank stocks give it up a little bit now. Tech stocks are already moving this way, so yeah, the short seems to be paying here, and it looks like it will pay into the end of the day as well. So you mentioned what's reporting right here. So this is what's reporting into tonight. So NTAP, ADSK, Duolingo, Dell reports at 4:05. That should be the most interesting one in my opinion. ACHR, we've seen some trading on that. Clover, MNST, not MSTR. Rocket Labs is a big one. SOUN and HPQ. So HPQ and Dell, big ones there today. Join Adair and I, and we'll do our best to rock through on that one. So yeah, that's it, man. Google and Intel, and then really debating the futures here. Thinking about taking that long if we break above 20,860 or whatever that level is right there. So we'll wait to see, but a couple good outs on Google. Look to see if we can get some more out on the top side.
Rocket Lab's only 13.5% short float.
Is that what it is?
Why did I think that was double digits, man? Or sorry, not double digits, over 20% is what I mean. Yeah, I thought there was a 2 handle on that. Still decent short float on Rocket Labs. I suppose it's because of the crazy move it already had. I just saw in the chat, it was Robbie V, said something like, is this what 2008 was like? No. No, 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 no. This is nothing like 2008. Like these, like we're down 1.5%.
Not even down yet.
The NASDAQ's not even, what are we from the highs? Obviously, SMCI hasn't broken the trend yet. If it does and gets above 44, you'll see me get into it. No, but we were just talking about the NASDAQ. Like, what are we from the top? Not even 10% from the highs. So we can't even be, like, no. It's just, there isn't a comparison to be made with 08.
Yeah, nowhere near.
At all. And I'll tell you, from a volatility standpoint, like the VIX would have to basically go on, take some steroids. You know what I'm saying? Do some Ronnie Coleman up in there on the VIX, and then we can talk about 2008. So no, nothing like that. Not in the trading sense either. Like you had full-blown panics on every single stock, or not every single stock, at least something every single day was giving you, I'm talking big names were giving you double-digit moves intraday. Like that was all the time back then. So I guess we're not going to get that mean revert yet on SMCI. That's the next one we're looking for. It tried to break the trend line and close above, got right in there and failed. So it's still set up for the break, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. And then Apple in here just lost 240. I mean, I wanted to be long if it held 240. The other side of it would be to simply short it to 240 bucks there on Apple. Apple goes green to red eventually. At some point, you're just that weak. Robbie V, I was only, oh, you were talking about the start of it? Yeah, well, the thing about the start is yeah, it wasn't quite the same. There were more fundamental, I think, there's way more macro stuff that was going on for the beginning of 2008 for it to be quite the same as it was before. I get where you're going with that, like the market flying and kind of bubble-ish, but it was more of a macro bubble instead of like this massive tech earning or valuation bubble that we could be in, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know that it's exactly the same, but every single bubble that gets inflated by more money printing just has a different reason for deflating. And I think that's what usually sets them apart more than anything else, and the nature of where you get the pullbacks. I don't think this will be as harsh as that. So that's the easiest way to think about it. But I should have just shorted Apple through 240. The problem with looking for bounce plays is you see a good level and identify it, and then you're looking for the long off that level, when it should just be a short off that level, Neil. Got to find something else. Yeah, should have just shorted Apple off 240. Instead of hoping that it holds the level, that's just silliness. Just short it when it breaks it. It's stupid.
Kind of like shorting all of these pops again in the market, like NVIDIA right there, popped up to 124.75.
What about AMD? AMD's
and started to go some downside moves right now as well. So, okay, there goes, I mean, good call holding the short. Looks like Intel will break that 70 level, so it'll be an L right there on Intel. I still think we want to get back into it. It is green on the day, but I was saying, like, we were really smart flipping up into the short on NVIDIA, but you know, we got out when it broke, and then we just went long on Intel. So the market's giving it up right now pretty good to that downside now. If we're going to zoom out a little bit, I think that, the short on the day is like, look, I mean, we were here on the 27th, but we were here, I mean, maybe we have to zoom this out just a little bit more. Oops, where's my zoom here? Hold on, just go like this. Go to zoom here and just go back out a little bit. Well, there, okay, actually, we're fine now. I just wanted to show you guys where we were. Hold on, go back in. So right into there, that's 5. We're breaking basically through it right now. 505 or so on the TQs. This goes all the way back into, that's January 24th, so basically 1 month. Worth of a look here. This is just a 30-minute chart, so if you're going to look at that, it looks like we are trying to break downside a little bit. Right now, this is the XYZ chart, but I'm not going to look at that. Let's just look at here on the Qs.
Block.
Yeah, on block. Yeah, so here we go. It looks like the close. That's January 13th now. So now we're getting below. We're looking right there. So yeah, maybe 500. I mean, that's what's incoming right now for the Qs, right? I mean, again, just covering up the last month and a half. It's been pretty nasty, but nowhere near, recession or anything like that. At the end of the day, though, bear market is 20%. Yeah. So you're going to get names like Google that are down 20% from its lows. And again, look at this, continuously going. One of my last bids is right here, right now, at 169.25. If we can hold that, great. But we're looking to see about it breaking near the low of the day now. In case we don't get there, I'll take a little bit right here at 31s. But yeah, we are waiting for more shares here at 169.25. Try to catch a bottom. It doesn't look like there is going to be one here today. So, yeah, volume's coming in. Look at the volume on the NASDAQ.
I heard you say recession. I saw a few people say it in there. The issue with recession is by the time economists all can agree that you're in a recession, the market's already in the bouncing phase most times. So
late.
I actually feel like when that does happen, that's like the first level of profit taking on the dip buys, is generally speaking. So don't worry about, like, you'll get people one-off be like, oh, we're in a recession. When people start to agree that you're in a recession, the market's bottomed. That's been true as long as I've been in, like, an investing adult is the best way to think about it, because I don't really know anything before that. Look, if we get to 23.30, this is where the buyers really came in on Intel earlier. Just going to show you a 15-minute chart so that you can see it's not just today, but it's also where they came in the afternoon yesterday, and then you had some resistance. It's like 23.30 and a 23.40. That's where we'll look for some kind of a trail. And as I was just saying, for fail on Apple, shaking. Like, Apple just really quadrupled down to 239 on that one candle. The first place I went to is, like, maybe we should just be finding the next available short in AMD. Because every time it consolidates, it seems to give you something. So it just broke a fresh low underneath 101. If it tries to break back through 101 and does any sideways action here, or like that at 101.5, or this at 101.30, just going to jump into the short on advanced micro devices. Or maybe we do get a second crack at that Apple trade. The other thing that's interesting is Tesla didn't break the low, but only barely. Tesla down around that 281, or sorry, 282, but 281 going to be that low of the day. We've seen Tesla sometimes with those late day rallies, oftentimes at 330. Anytime it's down like this, in the back of my mind, I'm like, if Tesla starts putting in those back-to-back strong candles after 3 o'clock, I want to see if there's a reversion I can join, because we've seen it happen in the past. But going to hang on to Intel, at least until it gets to that 2330 level, and then we'll look for a trail out on this. At this point, just kind of hang on to your shorts if you got them, and need to see something very distinct for a reversal. SMCI could still do it. It didn't make a fresh low just now, so it still has a chance to break the trend without breaking the low of the day. I still have my order to break out through 44, but that's becoming less and less relevant as the market continues to go.
Yeah, tell me about it. Everything seems to be less and less relevant here as well, especially for some of these longs. All right, well, here we are. We'll try it. A lot of volume coming in here on the NASDAQ. Just touching the 30 point here. Obviously, we know it can go a heck of a lot lower than this, but we're going to try it. It is the low of the day here on the NASDAQ. I feel like it's worth it, so we're going to do that and see if it can print out for us. So right now, NASDAQ is going long, 15 cents worth of risk. This is exactly the risk spot for me on this downside. If we can get 1-to-1, great. But here it goes. Right now, my order's already in. If it breaks lower, then we are out of this trade. Here it comes. All right, so maybe, what am I doing? I didn't even put an offer out there. All right, so we'll see if we can get something 1-to-1. There it is. We'll take it 29.28. So there it goes. A little bit of a 1-to-1 action right now, and a little bit more than that. So hopefully we do get... we got a little bit out there. Let's see if it can get back up to the upside as we're just trying to scalp in now. I don't think it's worth like holding on to the long and thinking that you're being a hero here or anything like that. So let's wait right now. The time to be a hero is over. I mean, that's no matter what you're doing, if you try to catch longs now, great, but I think you're just fishing, and that's what I'm doing, and I understand that, which is why I'm trying to scalp this out. So 1-to-1 there, out of some. We like to get out of a little bit more so we can hold about that, I wouldn't mind holding like 60%. So if we can get something out on the, here we go. If we can get something out on the upside, then we'll take it. Why didn't I not just take that again? All right, so there we go. We get some 27s. I thought I was there. I was actually at 37s. So right now I'm at 32s and then 36s. And there it goes. We get the 32s. So now we're starting to do some damage here on the board, back on the board here with the NASDAQ. So let's go. See if we get a little bit of a run. My offer's there. We know where the stop is. It's better than 1-to-1 right now. So if you're a scalper like me, congratulations. You just made a nice little bank there. It'll be nice if we get 36s though, because then that will sort of top it off and put us where we need to be. 35s. There it is, 36s. Okay, yes, sir. Let's go. Spin the money right there, because your boy's in the game now for the futures. Here it is, man. 40, 50s. Let's see if we get it. Yes, sir. There's a 45. So there it is, Neil. 35 handles right there. The futures ripping to the north side right now. So far, so good on that play. Doesn't mean it's going to last, but we're pretty happy with that performance so far.
Yeah, that's what it's about. I mean, try to find those scalp trades if you can, as the market is trying to hold those lows for sure. I'm just going to put a trail in. I'm now trailing to 23.6. I said we'd go trailing stop as we got into this level, so we're just going to quickly do that. It's double bottom also on SMCI.
Right back in, though.
So this one, so obviously, let me just move this. As the market just headed lower in the last 10, 15 minutes, the trend line is going to continue to trend down, meaning the break is going to be at a different level. It's now 43.5. So double bottom 43 on SMCI with a 43.5 potential breakout. So just a quick update. I just canceled my 44. There's no need to have that one in there anymore. We need to break this trend to get into that long side for SMCI. As I said, hang on to Intel. I don't think we're going to get a second crack at that Apple trade. BB, I just saw an interesting one. Pfizer from BB. Pfizer is on your, whoops, there it is, on my wealth trade watch list. So I'm going to make the assumption that I've never heard of that term before, but I guess you mean like the long term, you think it's a good long term buy at these levels for Pfizer. I think Pfizer is more of a shot play than anything else. I think you can apply that to a really extreme sense, Moderna. But I kind of
Moderna's not bad.
Well, I think they're very different, somewhat related, but very different names. Like Moderna is more the Hail Mary that I think has way more parabolic potential than Pfizer ever will. But Pfizer, you got to figure at some point they do something to rectify their GLP game and get into it, whether it's an acquisition, whether it's an acquisition or something else. But it has been bottoming out for a while at this 25, 26 level. I just keep waiting for it to take the 200 period moving average to take a trade in it. I've had it at this level before, but it's been a waste of time. And so the last time I had it, I just got out of it and put the money into the SPY, to be honest with you. If I don't have anywhere, if I dump a stock and I have nowhere to put it in, I generally just buy whichever index I like that month. But I like to think that there's a better shot play, like a bigger parabolic shot play coming in, something like a Moderna. But Pfizer, yeah, that's a decent level. I think it's worth watching. All right, SMCI, it's just bounced off the low of the day. So let's see if we can break that trend. This is the next one that I'm looking for. Hold a low, break trend line. That's going to be at 43.5. And I thought I just put my stop order to go long, but obviously I didn't. Why? Because you can't see it. And there it is. Now it's in. So we break the trend. I'm going long through SMCI. If we break the low of the day, the trend line's still good, but it would just be an adjustment lower, obviously, if we break that low. So for now, it's held the low. 43.5 is going to be the stop long. Intel, we're trailing to 23.6, which actually could come in as the market's trying to make a little bit of a bounce here. But let us know what else you guys happen to be watching. Neil, look at Walmart. I like Walmart. Well, I said last week I think Walmart had lower to go. I'm DCAing that sucker this year. I'm going to pull up a weekly chart on Walmart. Come on, break it. There's the weekly on Walmart. You have $80 as the 50 period. That's my next dip. Well, it's the next place I actually have an order. I shouldn't say that because if it hangs out up here at 90 and that 90 that I bought at recently holds for the next quarter or two, then I'm going to buy there. I'm not going to wait around forever. But the next current bid I have is at like 81 something or whatever. I think actually it's like 81.42 or 81.22. I put stink bids in on stocks when I know I want to buy them quarterly. So I just said maybe we get this reversion on SMCI, and it just tagged the low of the day again. The bounce taking a long time to happen here. Adara.
I think it's worth being aware here. Now we just got Fed's Harker coming through with some comments saying that they should let the monetary policy continue to work and that they're watching the data but will react if they must, saying that there has been slower progression here towards the Fed's 2% inflation goal. This mirrors comments that we had earlier today from Fed's Hammock, also saying that basically they should just let the monetary policy continue to work. So more comments from Fed speakers suggesting we're going to get a little bit of slowing here on these policy adjustments. Guys, keep an eye on the market as Fed's Harker continues to speak. I think it's worth noting, especially given the market weakness, that he is in fact talking right now. Guys, back to you.
Cheap housing, that's for sure.
Buddy.
Okay, good. I mean, I'm already in my house, so it's okay. All right, so just real quick, man. It looks like Google's not going to hold. I mean, it's at 169. Looks like it's going to break. And this is the thing I was saying, like, sometimes better to trade the futures. We just got some more out of the futures, a couple outs, actually, right here at 73.40. So we're just, like, we took 25 handles. Right here, Ramin. What's going on, Ramin? Over there as she stares with puppy dog eyes into Fabian's beautiful face. All right, so 73.40 right there.
How could you not?
Coming into play. So just watch out here. We're scalping some out. It looks like it wants to give it up. Right now, Google also looking like it wants to go. So, you know, when it does, and it's going to be nasty. So watch out for Google. I'm hoping that we can get a bump there, but I don't like Fed's Harker, this, and that. Like, there's a lot of talk right now. Let's see if the market wants to go, though. So here we go with Google. We're long at 21s. I'm going to take a little bit of pressure off. I don't think it's been a wise, actually, I didn't really put out that many shares. Let me put out a little bit more. Right there at 10s, if we can get that, we'll take a little bit of pressure off, take a 10-cent hit. The long is not going to be right. And, you know, we have been getting into this trade. So good one there. We did let it fall. We didn't start averaging it until about 20, which is where our average price is. So make money there. It'll turn us red. Like, if we break 10 more cents, then we're out of Google. We just tried to get out on the way up there, and we missed it. So, yeah, there it goes. So we'll slap a fail on the last little piece there. And it looks like the TQs are also going to break. So fading all of the, there it goes. Ooh, fading all of the pops looks to be right there. Down 2%. It looks like we're going to get nastier. Do we go more? Do we just go short now and hold it into the close? Or are we eventually going to get a dip by opportunity? We've been trying to get dip by opportunities. It doesn't look like that's coming through at all. All right, man. You know, when it breaks the low of the day at 2 o'clock, at 3:14, I was looking at, it's 2 o'clock in Chicago, then I think that, you know, it's going to be worth it. So we're going to try the short now again. We did short NVIDIA when it broke the low of the day, and oh boy, look where that thing is now, all the way down to 122. This is where we covered the first time. Looks like this market wants to keep going, man. We're going to go short the futures and just wait to see what winds up happening as we've given our day back, man. I mean, you know, we were trying to battle there. We did good, but the last couple bids, not so well. We did really well yesterday at this time, but But right now, man, everything is absolutely falling apart. And your Viking Therapeutics, I looked that up because I didn't mind it.
Is AMD going to have to break?
You need a big buyout on this one. VKTX. I was just looking at it because I do believe that there is some love here. But Viking Therapeutics, you want to talk about a name? Like, this is the thing. Like, I'm not that panicked. We do have big cap tech names, so most of them are down pretty good. But look at this, man. If you've been buying this name, like this $65 back in November down to 30. Look, this, and I'm only calling it because Neil mentioned it. This looks like this could break lower too, down into 20 bucks.
I think
so,
if you're Pfizer,
yeah, watch out now.
Well, so here's the deal. Viking can't afford to bring their oral. They just don't have the money. Like the stock is falling. They don't have the capital. They're not big enough to actually get it all the way across the hump. So when you see that depressed stock price, Pfizer, maybe you want to pick them. It would make a lot of sense because clearly Pfizer would have the money, and the sucker just gave you a huge discount on there.
I don't think Pfizer has Pfizer doesn't have much money. They're bleeding a lot of money.
Well, look, they have more access to capital to be able to fund something, to be able to get it to production. That's the more, you're right. That's the more correct way to put it. They have more levers that they can get the funding. Now, it would still be debt and raising debt, but at least it have the ability to do it that Viking wouldn't have. So I'm not saying they would.
Administration, I mean, it's supposed to open up the door for more of
this.
They
pulled back on that.
Oh, did they?
So they said that at least for now, they're not doing any relieving of the scrutiny of M&A. That's one of the reasons why some of the financials have pulled back a little bit. But the market continuing to head to lows. AMD could break 100 before we get back from Madeira.
To be aware here, we have Sam Altman saying that ChatGPT 4.5 is ready, so keep an eye on Microsoft with that in mind. Also, really quickly, check out X at TTV Research. New infographic for you guys, just how these Mag 7 companies that have added CEOs have performed since those CEO transitions. Shockingly, really, it's just like the longer that the CEO has been in charge, the more change it's been. So it doesn't look like there's a huge correlation here, but interesting enough, just check it out on X at TTV Research. Back to you.
Oh, I didn't get a good look at that one. I'll just have to go look over it on.
Let me make something perfectly clear to everybody here, including you, Sebastian. All right, everybody. This is not financial advice, right? I mean, I'm barely a trader. At the end of the day, that word generational is what we're talking about. My goal is to have at least 3 Bitcoins. Okay, so I'm building into that position. Once I've acquired 3 Bitcoins, then all of you will know. Because the reason why I want 3 is because when it rips, I want to be able to get out of 1/3 of it. And then I want to be able to hold and then see what winds up happening the rest of the way. So right now, I am not getting out of Bitcoin. I'll Michael Saylor this shit. Like, if this goes down to 0, we'll just be buying more of it. And hopefully I beat Michael Saylor to it. So we're just going to wait. Like, nothing here. I've been self-investing since my early 20s. So it's not about looking down. You still make bad calls. And I was talking about this with Obi the other day too. It's like, if you want to hodl something, great. But if you actually think crypto's going down, then I think, yeah, it's probably about time to start to think about, and that can't be right. This is not even moving. I got to refresh this. It's going to be about right now
83.
That if you need some money, and crypto's bothering you right now, then I think it's worth getting out. It's just everybody's going to have a completely different look and a completely different feel on what you're doing. And it's just, for me, it's like, I am doing that. I'm going to hodl it. That's why I love your shirt.
I'm just holding a hodl.
Yeah, I know. I love that shirt. And that's I knew you were doing it. That's why I was going to call about it. And I just, whatever you guys think, it's not like 3 Bitcoin's the goal. I'm not saying I have that now. If I had a full position now and I was starting to lose money on it, then yeah, maybe there would be something there. But I've sort of put that mentally in my head that's kind of the situation I want to do. I want to have that many. And right now it's spread out over iBit and things like that. So we'll wait. Purpose was the first one that I bought. We first wound up buying in Canada this one here. BTCC.B. So this is the first one. Canada got one of the first.
We got the ETF first.
Yeah, we got one of the first approvals on that. So again, like let me just show you, for example, I just said I put my money into this once this got approved. Okay, so let's see where it got approved at, right? So as you're starting to look down here, you can kind of see what's been going on with BTC. So, if you're long when this game starts, then you're fine. But at the end of the day, it is a nice pullback. And I know crypto's made of fluff and all that kind of nice stuff there. But at the end of the day, you got to believe in it. And I do. I'm not ready to buy more yet. My levels now, I told you I bought 87s, 86s by accident, and we'll be buying some more in the 70s. So
I bought 86s.
We flipped over the Qs, O'Neill, and right now this is going to be P&L number 1 now as it goes. We make everything back, man, and more on this play. There it goes, man, the Qs. Sending this one through. So we finally played the short. We've got this one, 40 handles now. Let's see if we get a little bit lower. Sorry, 35 handles. Let's see if we get a little bit lower on the TQQs.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And working into the last 40 minutes of the day here, with only about 20 minutes to go till we get the, 30 minutes to go till we get the imbalances. It used to be 345 on some of them, but now that we broke in 23.4, that was a morning support in Intel. The trail is going to go in there. Obviously, SMCI has not broken trend to get to the upside, so that's just not going to happen. I was asked, why do I hate AMD? I don't like or hate stocks. They're stocks. I don't think they require that kind of emotion. But the reason that I'm overall bearish on a stock in a general sense is just this. Right here on the daily since October of last year. It has been one of the cleanest downward channels that you've seen in a while, and I don't see anything, like until you get to $94, where's the support on AMD? Very clear downward channel that it's been in for a while, and now it's breaking fresh lows. Bottom of this channel is like 90 or like 80 something at this point. So it's just the chart's not very good, and as a day trader, I don't know, the way I would see it is, as a day trader, when you see a chart that looks like this on the daily, like why shouldn't your default position be, where is there a short chance for AMD today? The answer might not be yes, but if there's a short, then I think you want to take it. The same way when the stock is in a great upward channel. Your default when you open up your platform in the morning should be what's the long in, I almost said XYZ stock, but you can't say that anymore because of block. So I think that's where I like to go for the default, and that's where I'm saying AMD is probably going to give us a 100 break tomorrow, if not today. So the trail's on, like I said, in Intel. Jay Lee says, free fall Thursday leads to free fall Friday, ? I would almost argue to a certain extent the opposite. Like the big panic, the big fall days, a lot of times can lead to decent rebound days or sideways action. I would almost lean in that direction more so than anything else. But I just moved the trail to 23.4 and it looks like we could be bouncing into that. Technically 23.43. If we break that prior bar high, I'm jumping out of Intel and looking for that. Maybe reversion could still be coming to SMCI. So I don't want to completely write it off here. The trend line is now, would be a break of 43.35 as it just continues to be lower and lower and lower that the breakout would happen. I haven't put the stop in yet, but it looks like it has a chance to go here on SMCI. So it's SSR. That's the reason why I'm going to look for this breakout trade. And it's breaking trend, if it does break the trend. But I said that like 3 times and it hasn't done it. Intel, 1 more cent and it will trail out.
I mean, so we talked about getting out of the TQs. I mean, we got back in though, so we're still waiting for it to break. This is the futures, but we're still waiting for it to break that shelf there. And if it does that, then we're going to get out. It's at 73.50. So I just have so many ins and outs right there. So I was just looking right into there, 73.50. I mean, we could hold it up to the 50-period moving average. I don't know if we want to do that or not. But the market, again, just heading into the close here, we could get a little bit of a rally. Early look on the imbalance locator. Not much. These are all New York stocks, so I'm not really seeing a whole heck of a lot here. I'd rather fade these bumps right now. So we'll wait, though. No NASDAQ names on here, right? So, yeah. How low did NVIDIA get? Because the last time I bought this thing was at 121. Yeah, the last time I think I bought this was 118, and that was on the DeepSeek, and we bought that live on the show, or we at least talked about it, and it just came all the way back in. So, again, in an attempt to build generational wealth, we will wait to see the next move down on NVIDIA. And a shout out to my guy, Clark Kent there said, you can buy and sell less than 1 Bitcoin at a time. Yeah, I'm well aware of that. Believe me, I'm not buying 1 full Bitcoin down here at $86,000. That is for sure as we start to average into it. And I'm kind of using profits from some of the altcoins as well to make that move. And we had talked about slipping out of one and into the other. And I do prefer that kind of a play. So, all right, just so I'm not into everything, I'd rather just be in the king. Yep. All right, so here we go. If this comes back down in, I will take a fill at 73, just sort of a mental area. We did stop and go there. We did get a nice little bid also, offer right there. So we did catch that. So let's reward ourselves. Put 10 handles in our pocket. You see we're short at 73.09. So we'll take it out there at O's, get paid to do it. All these trades I'm getting paid to do, meaning by the market as far as adding liquidity. You have to pay a fee to the NASDAQ. This is listed on the NASDAQ. The SEC wants a fee every time you go short. So there are
gotta get paid.
fees associated with it. You got to get paid. And look, there's a good out again. Like, we could go red on the futures on my personal account if we do break through 73.50, but we are trying to get a little bit in and out here as we understand that there's only 25 more minutes left until those imbalances. And yeah, will the market hold up at this low, down 2% today? I mean, that's the question. I don't think we'll get down 3%. There's not as many big earnings on deck to really affect tonight's market.
Someone asked about Rocket Labs.
Yeah, Rocket Labs is a good one. I don't know what...
No, the expected move, which I don't have.
I have it right here.
You have it? Okay.
Rocket Labs expected move 14.
14.
Yeah, so just go over here I'll tweet this out. I'll put this in the chat. You go find it at Trader TV Sean there. All these numbers there. Dara puts them together for us. So thank you, Dara, for all that. So she puts together all of those numbers.
Yeah, shout out to it.
For us. So yeah, she just went by. I wasn't sure if she was on camera, but okay. That's that. So I'll put another bid. There we go. I'll put another bid down there at 73. We just bounced off 73 again. So be careful here. Looks like there is some resistance down at this level. And we'll just trade it as if there is. Get out of a little bit more. I'm trying to get out of 5% at a time and see if we can get that whoosh downside there and turn our frown upside down.
Well, we just trailed out of Intel, and it might have actually been like the only bump of significance since it got to VWAP, and that trails us out. It might still head lower. The more I look at this, I'm contemplating whether I want to jump back into it. But I also looked over at AMD, which I said a while ago, this one should be a short on every single pop. It's almost at that 100 level, just stopped at 101 even, as the market just continues to bleed. I think I'll just stick with Intel. Again, it accelerated through VWAP in here. The fact that it wicked me out, if it can hold that prior candle, which is 23.48, if it holds that, I'll just maybe short this back into that prior high. It's almost getting in where we got out just now to give it to that wick high, kind of like if we had just been wicked out of a trade at the high of the day, but instead this is near the low. I'm going to try to work back into that one to the south side. Apple still looking like it's absolutely nothing. Property Snapper said biggest bubble in history. Well, the interesting thing about that is, if you ever look at the money supply, it only goes in one direction, which is up, up, and parabolically up. And so that's why every crash feels like it's crazier than the worst, because more money got printed than the time before. So that's usually how these things work. But you know how it also resolves itself? When the bubble bursts, you want to be out there ready to buy some things and know what you want to buy and hold on to. That's what 08 was good for. That's what the COVID low was good for. Those have been the ones that I've gotten to experience. The dot-com bubble wasn't something that I could really participate in to any real extent. But if that does happen, then I come to you with open arms, market. Who thinks that's?
No idea. Okay, so we're bidding 73 flat again. Okay, we took another piece. All right, okay, fine. I was gonna say I'm bidding also now. Okay, here we go. Oh boy, I hate cheering for this. I don't really, actually. Nice move to the downside here for the futures. I mean, we're talking about layering into this trade. We're talking about layering out. Booyaka, 40 handles right there to the downside. So yeah, man, the futures are what we think they are. Dead here today. So there it goes, man. Yeah, what's up, everybody? I hope you guys are with me on this, man. This is the confidence. This is that belief in your trade. Hold it, hold it, hold it until you're wrong. No, don't do that. Just make sure you're a risk manager, right? I mean, we looked at a stock like an Uber. I could show you many different examples today of this, including the NVIDIA trade, including reversing that one. But there it is right there, right? I mean, you get out of the way. You take it on the news. It developed a level. Once that level broke, we got out. Now you're not worried about this kind of a move. So I think that that's what you want to do at the end of the day, is make sure that you're holding on to something if it does go, and just play the right direction. Once that news broke about the Uber and Tesla going through California there, I just went long. It came into a level, I liked it, but then once we lost it, and you got to get the, wow, Neil. What am I even doing? I'm really glad that we didn't discuss this because this is an absolutely monster. We were trading Rolls Royce earlier, but not much happening. They did report. We were looking at that earlier during lunchtime. I'll talk about that in a minute. But here we go, man. It's the TQQs. This is a big. I just looked over, and I know you're not supposed to be like a P&L trader, but like, wow, we just got lit up right there on a big move to the downside. I'm glad we went over there and covered that. So that was a good trade for us on the futures. Oh boy, wow. Don't have to show too much emotion, my guy. But there it is. Nice downside move for the futures, man. Definitely putting up some digits right now. This is not playing around. We're trying to go for it. And there it goes, man. Futures. Let's see what winds up happening with only 20 minutes left.
Yeah, 30 minutes left. 20 minutes to leave bounces. 30 minutes left in the day. But the market goes right to the low. Sometimes you just got to get back in the trade. It's like, should I have gotten out of the trade? If answer no, jump back in. I say that. Like, let's imagine you're short at the highs, you get wicked out, jump back in the short. You get wicked out at the lows, jump back in. You just double tap 23.3. I will point out here that this is a morning bottom at 23.20, and yesterday's open low was right around here at 23.20. So if there is a bottom to be made, I might move the trail if we make another fresh low of the day. Right now it's at break even, but I'm still willing to trail this one out like we trailed the prior trade to the downside. Where is support on the SPY? Someone just asked there. Jam Losi, you asked where is support on the SPY? I mean, we can look together if you'd like. There's your intraday chart, right? You're at the low, so that's absolutely nothing. If you're talking about the daily, I think we mentioned this in the morning show about it's about the 580 area on the SPY. The 200 period sits at 570. But those are the kind of things that'll stand out to you. Like if it's not obvious on a daily chart, then to me it's not support. And then I like the moving averages, but moving averages aren't in and of themselves automatic support lines. Like stocks won't just bounce at the 200 period moving average because there's a line sitting there. Prior support tends to matter more, and that's another $11, $12 away. And then you have nothing here today because you're at the lows. So I hope that, again, when in doubt, zoom out is the only answer I can give you. If you're looking for some kind of a floor in today, find a stock that hasn't broken the low or something that hasn't broken the low, and then you can work off of that. So as far as I'm concerned, because Intel hasn't broken its morning low, that is support until it isn't, and I'm bidding out in front of it. And we should have reverted this at 24.20. We didn't until 24, and that happened to be VWAP, but that's what you just have to do sometime. Fortune Sal saying emotional damage. We need that animation ASAP. Emotional damage. That would be a fun one to have, but I don't know. I feel like you're just like at that point you're kind of like stealing that one. We got to have our own up in there. What I actually think what I would love is some of the lines we have from like the HODL it, from the T-shirt. I'd love to have some stuff like that, like holding on to a trade. What the Bulls and
Bull
Bears.
fell down. I just looked over. I was like, oh my God, that was like.
Well, of course the bull fell down. He looked at the market and was like, I can't deal with this nonsense. He's like, where's the Moet? He wants to sip it.
He's got to sip that out.
He's doing just fine, by the way.
Yeah, I just saw
They locked up his wide receiver.
Kid downloading some sort of.
Oh, we overpaid for Shakir.
You guys are in trouble. My kid downloaded some Pokemon game I just saw on the Switch. Okay, so here we go. We just covered a little bit more there at 79. President Trump talking about some agreement with the Ukrainian president. Okay, so they're going to be developing Ukraine's rare minerals. Yeah, same kind of stuff. So Adair's going to be all over that and let us know how that goes.
Fancy that.
Right now.
Country with lots of resources.
We'll wait. But all right, so some more outs. Yeah, the bull did kind of have a stroke there, Marty, and he fell down to the downside. Thanks, Marty, for that one right there, for that super chat. So we'll drop some money down for that. Haha, bull had a stroke. Yeah, bull today is saying bull S on this market. Yep. But you cannot deny what has been happening. And we're just going to sit in this short and figure out what Adair is up to.
It's worth noting this just because of the geopolitical implications in the market sometime. But as Trump mentioned, Trump is talking about the war in Ukraine. And one thing he said was, with regards to ending the war, quote, it'll be soon or not at all. So basically saying that either there will be a quick end to this war or the war will not end. Of course, we know that the market can move on geopolitical type situations, so just be aware of these very interesting comments coming through right now from Donald Trump, basically saying the war will either end soon or apparently never, guys. Back to you.
He's right.
But that's such a...
Finally.
Whatever.
I mean, honestly, I mean, that's right. If Ukraine agrees to this, then the U.S. can go in there and help end the war. If they don't, then it's going to continue, and mass slaughters will continue to happen.
It's not an overwhelming observation that he's making. But
Well, at least he's commenting about it. I mean, the thing is like, it's not even it's not even really an observation. It's a fact.
it's just how it is. Well, what's interesting is you don't usually hear, let's be real, you don't hear politicians be that bluntly, speak that bluntly about things in those types of terms, which is
There's been probably no more of a blunt politician in the history than Donald Trump. I mean, he's doing literally what he said he'd do. I don't even remember Dara breaking one story over the last 4 years about Joe Biden. So, you know, at least this guy's in the market doing some things right now.
That's about national issues and not other things, I would say.
Yeah, just Joe Biden in general.
No, the only story was the one we were stepping down. That was the one time that she broke live.
Right.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the not actually related to policy and in the country. Because I remember it. That was the one time I remember hearing her come in and was basically to say that Joe Biden was stepping down, which wasn't necessarily. It was a market moving event, at least at the time. But we'll see. The market, with only about 15 minutes to go, we didn't go over the early look for the imbalances. It's not, there's nothing crazy, except I don't know what AMPB is, but anytime you start to get to the end of the month, I'm reminded that you do have, I think it should be MSCI. It's February, right? Yeah, so it's MSCI should be having a rebalance tomorrow, whether or not this whatever this, I don't know what AMPB is, but if it is on the potential moves for tomorrow, then that could be a little bit interesting. But not much on the early look. I'd expect there's going to be some imbalances tomorrow because of the MSCI, and we'll be locked and loaded and ready for those. I think just holding into the lows. Now that you've kind of broken the bottom in here, got into the 20s, I've moved the trail to just underneath break even, that 23.40 here on Intel. At least I thought I had, and now I have. So we're either going to get the low of the day, which I shouldn't even bother be bidding it here, or we're going to get 23.40 with only 15 minutes to go till the imbalances come in here. IWM's trying to bounce. I hear Trader Forever say. I think the problem is you could probably describe that as almost everything at these lows. If it's at the low and not breaking it, then it's easy to say it's trying to bounce. That's more or less everything. Getting a little bit off of the bottoms. Yeah, the Russell not having a very good time of it.
It's not a very good.
Ooh, flat bottom break on the Russell. Didn't see that. Not that I look at the Russell all that much. I'm not invested in it or anything. But that just took out its low on the year and is holding underneath it. Not a very good look for the Russell. Under the 200 period and just lost its support. For the year is being dramatic because it's only February, but that was the bottom at 214 there on the Russell. Yikes. And that's sort of the thing. I mean, if you like the Russell, maybe you'd be trying to find places to stink bid. I know I'm not, because we ain't getting them cuts that we wanted.
No, I wouldn't. I've never been. I mean, I think the IWM has its place, and if you are, if you are looking for something, you can do that right now. Sure, Neil likes to do ad reads. He can do that one coming up. Okay, so $73 right there. I'm gonna wait to see if the TQs will make that move to the downside here, and just try to hold it into the close. So. Yeah, man. I mean, I understand that there's a lot of people that are all like antsy today about everything because obviously a lot of people are losing some money in this stock market. And, the comments that I'm making are not any direction towards like, yeah, Trump's doing a great job or anything like that. I'm just saying I don't have a vote. You guys have a vote. He won overwhelmingly, one of the bigger landslides, I think, that from what I can remember in the popular vote. And now he's doing everything that he said he would do. And now we're like, wait a minute, what's he doing? So, I mean, I hate the effect that this is having on the markets. I mean, I thought, obviously being Canadian, that, we weren't expecting this kind of a blowback, but it's happening and it's about dealing with it. The market's obviously not liking a lot of these calls. And tariff talk is what it is, going to be benefiting America, that's for sure. But you could see, we're trading American markets. Actually, on the year, like the Indian market's up, UK, Germany, pretty much all of Europe is up on the year, let alone what China's been doing. So it's like, there's a lot of this back and forth talk here. There we go. Let's go with the futures. Yes, sir. Nice downside plays happening right now. Okay, in the futures, here we go. As we start to get a little bit ramped up right now. So yeah, man, this is why we pass it over to Neil. We're in a good position right now with the futures. Neil, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. And we were talking about it before. What? Well, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to talk about e-signal for you guys in here, and real live. You saw me when I had an issue on my chart with Apple. First place I went over to was e-signal. Check out what VWAP was there, confirm that it was incorrect, probably saved me from taking a long in a trade, and that's the idea. They have reliable data. They have every indicator you could ask for, back testing, forward testing, all the good stuff. But you know what? It's free for a month. And that's sort of the thing we're talking about. Free for 1 month, the opportunity for you to try it out. I think it will elevate your game. The ability to go in there, do a tick replay so you can see what was trading or how a stock was trading at a given level. You can have market depth, watch level 2s. You can integrate your trading with many brokers out there. So a wide array of tools right at your fingertips, all in one spot with eSignal. And that's the big deal. It's simple, it is intuitive, and it is reliable, and for 1 month, it is free. So scan that QR code you see out in front of you and don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Take a shot with eSignal. You can also check the link in the description, and shout out to eSignal, which I'm having more fun using every single day. And it's obviously, we talk about usually the hot list. I haven't really gone over the hot list because there hasn't been really that much popping off on it. It's all the usual suspects in there just to see what's moving. In terms of the trade rate, like Tesla, NVIDIA, Palantir, SMCI, like all TQs, like all things that you usually expect to be able to see. But got to have those resources at your fingertips. We just made a new fresh low. Again, I put one short on and was just Intel through VWAP. I wish I could say I also shorted Apple. Apple would have been a good one as well. That was a fail. When 240, I was looking for 240 to hold. Good news, didn't go long because 240 didn't hold. But that should have been a 240 short on Apple, which is also at the low of the day. So I'm holding into the imbalances, and we'll just keep tightening up the stop at this point, and we'll see how far it goes. No LFT at this point, so don't want to cause any, as we're now our highs of the day. It's been one of those where you had to survive the day. Like, actually, my best stocks have been long today. But green is green. I'll take it.
Yeah. Crazy day here. As the futures continue to make this move downside, like, wow. Another good fill down there. This is really starting to print out for us. So I'm just going to hold it into the close. The NASDAQ, this is short the futures, right? So we went long until it broke. And then once it broke, we went short. Then we reloaded it short. And it's really the reload right now that's been pretty good. I think you could probably tighten up your stop now. So that's 73. I'd hate for it to get back up. We could have a rally at the end of the day, or I'm going to take out another 5% right now, 55s if we can get it. There we go. We bid 55 and get it. I'm going to set the stop order right now at 73. That's 15s. Why not just do that? So we cannot obviously turn this one into a loser. This will be the biggest stock of the day. And obviously, as we trade the futures here to the downside, I mean, you're making calls like this, and it goes, right? And so there we go. Nice move there. Thankfully, we didn't get stopped out. We almost did. We almost got stopped out at 73.50 there, but instead we reloaded it at 73.35, and there it is now. 100 handles in the money from our latest I'm going to take out another bid right here from our latest reload. So shout out to Adam to lose, everybody out there that's actually trading. Like this is a big one right there. I mean, I hope you guys are still holding on to your shorts, and if you are, congratulations, because it's to the downside and it's nasty. Like we said, like not a good day to open up any of the portfolios to check them out. But again, maybe some rebalancing if you're interested in doing that. You're way late to the party. It's not that you're too late to sell anything. I mean, this is the NASDAQ right there. This is we don't want to look at the TQs. It's going to be more influenced, obviously. The TQs is at the 200 period and below it. But right here, if you just look at what the NASDAQ is doing, you are getting close again. If you're trying to dip buy things, this is a good opportunity to think about it into the NASDAQ. I am not dip buying the NASDAQ. I'm dip buying the SPY. So I'm already, I know that, the dog that wags the tail, so on and so forth. And we're getting close to both of them being down here anyways. I just have pretty much all tech stocks, which has been disastrous for the last couple of days. But buying into here 570 isn't the end of the world. And I think we'll put some bids down there where we already have some bids to get long on the SPY if we do come near the 200 period moving average. So I think we're getting closer and closer to that. The NASDAQ going out at the lows of the day will be very, very interesting. Down that 2.34%. It's a good thing we covered a little bit down there. We'll cover a little bit more right now. So some outs at the bottom in the 30s. You just saw me make that play. and then some more plays right now in the 50s and again in the 40s. So we're starting to really do well here into the end of the day and really putting up some numbers. So hopefully you guys have this short. And if not, yeah, I don't think, what's up, Kendall? I don't know. I know there's a lot of talk about Trump. It's because every news story we get are these tariffs and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, today is a bad day, Gladys. And I don't know whose fault this is. I mean, obviously, earnings weren't great this year or this quarter. NVIDIA's sort of cry there last night didn't really. Jensen went on CNBC. He had his call. He did all this. The stock didn't really move. It opened up real high upside today, and then the traders just came in and nailed this thing. So I don't want to panic about it. It's still above those DeepSeek levels, but you're getting close. For sure, for those of us that are still in some of these names. And if you're looking for income generating ideas, then yeah, you may want to sell against some of your positions, some calls, and that might help you generate some profit. So I would just wait to see what happens. You could get called away, but at the end of the day, it's a big time downside move here. And I'm happy to be part of it. Over 100 handles right now on this TQs trade. So far so good right there. But yeah, I'm just gonna hold it into the close 4 minutes until the imbalance.
At 4 minutes till imbalance, the only thing about covered calls is like usually if you're a buy and hold forever, just make sure when you sell the covered calls, you're okay with having them called away. Like I've only ever used it on stocks that, like I've never used it on like the core, like the Apples of the world. It's always something like Intel. Like I'm in a long, it's gone. It's not something that I believe in. It was more of like a kind of a shot-ish type play. So that if it got called away, I'm not crying about it whatsoever. I'm just, taking that income and running. And then in the case with Intel, lo and behold, like when it happened, it was like 25 into 40, and then it was right back at 25. It was like maybe a month or two later. But I don't sell covered calls in any of like the good Mag 7 names. I always tend to be, it's the things that I think that stink is the wrong word.
Wow.
But I think they're a little bit weaker. We're about to tag that low of the day as we just got another push. I just wanted to point out, you might have mentioned it, but the ES is only down 1.4 to the NASDAQ's 2.5. So it's not an everything bleeder. The fact that it's not that 2%, that's boding much, much better. And if you look at what China's been doing, some of the Chinese names, and we talk about this as being like tariff related or whatnot, yeah, they've been bleeding again today. K-Web down, but Alibaba is holding the top. I know it's down 1.5%, but it's actually holding the top pretty nicely here. I might have mentioned that I have a trail on for Alibaba because I haven't taken any profits out up here. And if it loses this local bottom that it just put out, then I would trail out of a quarter, but hasn't done so yet. I like the way that it's holding on here. At least this Chinese name. I haven't looked at them all, so don't at me if you're in like JD and JD is bleeding like 5% to the downside. I just don't look at that stock. So there's that low of the day break. The trail was at break even. Now I'm going to move it up to the quarters because we only have 2.5 minutes until the imbalances trigger in. And again, I find like if you ever get wicked out of a stock and you're like, that's a bad exit, that was like they got me, then just jump back in at the same price if the market wants to give you an opportunity to. Sometimes it happens at the high of the day, sometimes it happens at the low of the day. But the short is definitely the way the market's going. NVIDIA 121 even. 8% down on NVIDIA today.
There you go. So it looks like if you did hold those options, you're going to be
8%.
right.
What was the
9 or so percent there for NVIDIA.
Yeah. Like it does get there.
Okay, let's check out Riley. So Riley does still hold that 580 level, not doing too much here into the after hours. Palantir holding 85 for now, down 5%. Tesla, what's Tesla down? Ooh, Tesla right at that low of the day again, man. Like there's a little more time left. I think you could get a little bit of a bounce up there for Tesla. I'm going to take out another 5%. We're getting real light, man. I mean, you can only take out 5% so many times here on the futures before you run out of steam. So again, hard to tell how many shares I've traded on this name, but I'd say we probably have about 15% left. So with only a minute and a half left into the day, before the imbalances, then we'll see if this can have an effect. I would say we'll probably come as a sell side, so hopefully some more damage coming through here for the market, and then we can cover the skews, and then maybe at 355 we'll get a little bit of a reversal bump to the upside. So I'm going to put a bid right now down at like 15s. see if we do get that move back. Those were some of our best outs. So we'll wait. These are not live. They're going to be live in a minute. So looks like we're trying to get ramped up here. So maybe, I don't know if someone knows something. That's our best out right there, 15. So we'll put another bid down there. And again, all of these are like 5% out. So we've done real well the whole last 15. And we'll just see what winds up happening now with the TQQs coming out in just 30 seconds. Sorry, the futures are going to be affected by this imbalance. So just as we go, let's watch NVIDIA on the imbalance, because that should be one of the bigger names to hit. So we'll watch it right here. We'll call it up and we'll see what winds up happening. Maybe I can, here, let me put it down here. That way,
it already popped.
Everyone can see that. Yeah, no, nice pop. The market's popping. So yeah, I mean, I can see it. I'm in the futures. So, all right. So right now, with only 10 seconds left, we'll see, and then I'll just keep on clicking on some names, and then we'll see what winds up happening. So NVIDIA right now, before the futures, before the imbalance comes out, let's call it 121.90. So 3, 2, and 1, and let's see what winds up happening. Instantly down to 121.40. I mean, boom, we nailed that one, man. We said that was probably going to be one of the sells to come through there for NVIDIA. So there it is, 3.7 million. I just said, let's call it 121.90. It goes down into 121.30 and does not pick anybody. I wasn't bidding it, but that was a decent area. Does not breach the low of the day on that sell imbalance. I think it went down because it was a sell imbalance, but at the end of the day, into 400 million shares, it's kind of a nothing burger. So we'll wait to see what happens with that. SMCI also with a move down inside. Not really. Yeah, okay. It's at the low of the day, down 17% for SMCI. TLT, wow, $91. That was a good call there by anybody who went long there in the mid-80s. Amazon also continuing to get that sell side, it looks like. Yeah, so Amazon going out at the low of the day, down at 209. So, yeah, fun times.
Yeah, even with that sell, the market 600 overall, the market 630 million to the sell side, the NASDAQ 530, Dow 314, the Mag 7 540. So small sells, but the trail out happened. I got trailed out at the quarters here on Intel just before the imbalances came out. Doesn't matter. It didn't have an imbalance. Short VWAP, hold to the low. It gives you a 3% move. We're able to get back into it, but that's what you have to do sometimes. That SMCI, that's a pretty significant size imbalance for SMCI. From a notional standpoint, 1.7 million, but it's done 105 million shares today. So that is a drop in the bucket in terms of the overall volume, and probably why SMCI didn't even budge at all. There was no budge to the upside or the downside when that number came out. It's a significant size, but you have to also factor in how big is that imbalance relative to the amount of volume. If SMCI was doing regular SMCI volume, that might actually move the stock a little bit more, that 1.7 to sell. But it seems like it's a bit of a nothing burger for the imbalances. That AMPB didn't even come out as anything. Open would be big, but it's only a $1 stock. So might look to see it 355 if there's maybe a flip trade for one of these two, which would be NVIDIA or SMCI, or it would pair off, I should say, because it doesn't have to flip to a bid to reverse. It could just go from 1.6 million to like 100,000 or so, and that would be good enough for a little bit of a mean reversion on any of those bad boys. So I think it's safe to say when Joe was talking about the 140 strike on NVIDIA, we ain't got to worry about that tomorrow. Not even the least bit.
No,
not even a little bit.
I would say, for NVIDIA?
He said that was the biggest open interest was the 140.
Makes sense because of the earnings, but
after earnings, but that's no.
No, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, if you close today around 125, you could get back up there. Still a couple minutes left. Then you get that bump up overnight. I mean, I don't think 140 will happen, but I think you can get to 130, 135 tomorrow on NVIDIA. So we'll see what winds up happening right there. Nice bounce back at the end of the day, 121 up to 122.50 there for NVDA. Okay, more covers, man. I mean, it's pretty simple stuff over here for me. More covers on TQ if we do drop down in. We should get, because we went up there at 350, we'll probably reverse back into 355. But I already put my out at the 50-period moving average. So we're going to be out there at 72.90 to get out of that one. And hopefully we'll be able to do that. And that will be the end of that trade. Otherwise, we'll hold it into the close. Join Dara and I as we'll go over. Yeah, I mean, we can go over some of those reports right here tonight. So, yeah, man, 500,000 subscribers right there. We appreciate you, Bears versus Bulls. I think I throwing a lot of love around here and not enough to you. So thank you so much to Bears versus Bulls for that one. NTAP, ADSK, Duolingo, DELL coming, ACHR. That's Archer, right? ACHR. There's been back and forth. Yeah, Archer Aviation. Yeah, of course. Clover, MNST there as well. SOUN, Rocket Labs, and HPQ. So I know we got to go to Adara, but the futures did exactly what we thought they would do, and it's not even 355. There's a dump right into our position, covering more and more there. This will be the biggest trade here on the TQs for me, and that is what it is. Nice reversal. Glad we were able to switch it up. Big time trading there on the futures. DELL reporting at 4:05. What's up, Adara?
Speaking of these earnings, I just want to give you guys a little primer of what we're expecting. I just put out this infographic here. It's on X at TTV Research. So here is what time we're expecting each of these reports, and you're going to see their implied moves, because I thought it'd be noteworthy. We have so many huge implied moves tonight. Duolingo here, pretty significant. We've got Autodesk. We have SoundTown. So lots of big moves to watch out for here. Check this out on X at TTV Research. Back to you.
Yeah, buddy.
Great look over there, and you get all the action live in about 5 minutes, or starting in about 5 minutes. Great look over there. There's going to be a lot to look. We had record numbers yesterday, and hope to see absolutely more of that. It was a fantastic show, and you get to tune in and see actual price action as opposed to just, oh, how did the earnings do? A little bit of both.
150
Oh my God.
handles in the money. What's up, Jay Lee? All right, here we go. What's up? Yeah, I'll answer this question. Why not? Honest question. Good, perfect. You probably got the right guy. Let's see what happens. Honest question. How do you not beat yourself up for not joining the TQQ dump by shorting? Yeah, I mean, yeah, shorting in the morning, fine. The advantage, it's a curse and a blessing at the same time, and that is the share size that I use. And it's kind of like, I'm happy joining the trade now. I mean, why did not join it in the morning? Yeah, I mean, right there, you said $80? Yeah. I can look back and look at so many different stocks, man. I mean, we got wicked out of AMD right before this dump happened as well. All I can tell you, man, I've traded thousands and thousands of shares today, and some decisions are going to be bad and some decisions are going to be good, right? And at the end of the day, you just hope to continue to make good ones. And I mean, look what's happening right now. This is 150 handles in the money. So you never want to compare yourself to anybody else or anything like that. But for me, this is a good trade. And I just hope some of you have joined it, right? The TQs is going to be a huge trade today. And I'm happy to do it. I wish we were short at 80 because that would be an $8 winner. I'm more than happy to do those trades. I do them all the time. You guys know, you see me hit $40 winners on Tesla. You see me hit $30 winners on NVIDIA, all these kind of plays. And we'll do it again. But this is a good trade for me. Nice move to the downside. I want to thank you, Jay Lee, for pointing it out. I mean, we stick to our guns here all the time. And this was just one of those examples, again, that we did that. We even reloaded it. So I would be more upset if I didn't reload. Like, we had already thought short. Like, we were long there, right? And then so once it broke that, we went short, and then we reloaded against the 50 period, giving us that confidence that it wasn't going to break this level. So this, I'm actually almost the opposite. I'm actually really thrilled that we're able to find the TQs, because if we don't find it, then we're just resting on our longs, and that would have been a disastrous, right? So, yeah, man, here to go. Thanks for pointing it out. I think if you're going to follow some of the trades, you would have been really happy with what we had put out today. So far, so good there. Thank you for the question. Yeah, Rocket Lab should be really, really exciting, man. But I'm not, look, I'm happy about this trade. But I know it's hard to celebrate them, especially when there's a lot of traders that are offside and long. And I'm long. I'm hella long. The amount of money that I've lost in my personal accounts today dwarfs anything that anyone's made anywhere around here, right?
But that's everyone's long term is always going to look like that when it.
That's
well,
what I'm saying. I'm not happy. I'm just happy to show people that you can actually sit here and make these trades. And at the end of the day, it's a monster.
Exactly.
So it is what it is.
I saw someone Eski in the chat. There's always another opportunity. The way I look at it is you can't worry about what you missed in the morning. So what? The first trade I put on this afternoon was long Intel, and it was a loser. So you go short it eventually. And it doesn't matter where you go short as long as you find yourself into a winning trade. Be like a closer in baseball. You blow a save, they got to go back in the next day. And if there's a lead in there, they got to go protect it. Mariano Rivera is not going to remember about the bomb he gave up. He's going to throw the cutter on the hands again every single time until it stops working. And for him, it actually never stopped working. So that's what it's all about. With only about 1 minute to go in here, just very quickly, SMCI did flip, but there wasn't much of an event. When I said flip, it did pair off, but it didn't move. So there was no opportunity there for a reversion trade late in the day. SMCI had a big sell imbalance like NVIDIA did, but there was absolutely nothing in there on that flip at 55. Still about 30 seconds to go. It is going to be a bleed type of day. We knew that NVIDIA earnings were going to cause, there's a reason you call it the Super Bowl of earnings, but to have predicted that it would be down 8.5%, I don't know how many people were thinking that today here on NVIDIA, but that's where we're at. And that's what we're facing tomorrow. Volatility is in this market. I think it's a good thing. It allows you to have good trading days and good trading opportunities out there for sure. But let's pop the bell on. Get the camera off me. Throw it onto Dare the Bell. Brought to you by Orgenics, transforming brain health. And ring it, Dara, because we are closed now. So the market is closed. You do have a bunch of earnings coming right after the bell here. So you're going to want to make sure you stick around. Whether you care about Rocket Labs or a bigger name like DELL. DELL going to be the biggest name, I think, reporting in there in terms of market cap. A lot of people are going to be interested there. You're overall almost down 2.8% on the NASDAQ. The ES, 1.6, bleeding. But the real story was after earnings, beat top, bottom, good guy. Doesn't matter, 8% down on NVIDIA. Want to give a shout out to Fabian and Ramin, as always, making us look and sound good every single day. And want to give a big shout out to the midday boys there, both Sharif and Joe. And a big thank you to Joe and Obi for filling in. Myself, I'm still not feeling 100%, but glad to be back here and be able to weather positive days. One of those weird ones where best stock was along, but sometimes you get away with them. And you got to be able to have those opportunities in the market moving. And sometimes it's just like that. You can wish you were short early, but as long as you join it eventually, I think you'll be absolutely fine. Shout out to you, Come Back, Run X. We got a super chat in there at the end of the day, and we'll maybe address that. What is the platform you're using to trade with? We trade with Real Trading up in here. You can see it right there. That's us. Shout out to Real Trading. That's where we're able to trade every single day and appreciate them. But it's market recap time. Lots of earnings to get to and a big time market move to recap at the desk with Sean Adara. Right about now.
Okay, thank you so much. One more time. This will be the last recap show I do this week, so I'm really happy to do that.
What I do this week.
Oh, you're not doing it tomorrow?
I'm off tomorrow.
You're off tomorrow?
Yeah, but I'm coming back tomorrow night for Obi's grad party.
Okay, nice. Good. Okay, well, we'll see you then tomorrow night.
Yep.
Enjoy your day off. Any plans?
Yeah, I'm writing. I'm in this writing contest, so literally just going to be writing all day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, good.
Not super exciting, but it should be a good time.
What a bloodbath today.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what's going on? Hey, look, who bull, who bear? Who next? Right now. All right, let's go. There are earnings coming out right now. We have NTAP that's out right now. So let's just keep on going right now. Thank you so much for joining us. We had record viewers yesterday. I don't know if we'll do it today. We don't have no NVIDIA, but we're going to bring the same heat as well. Looks like NTAP, a nice move to the downside right now. EPS 191 in line. Looks like their sales miss. That's a nice move to the downside right here. I don't have everything. ADSK also up as well.
Oh, I have them.
That's a nice move to the upside right now for Autodesk. That's moving around right here. But what number do you want to talk about first?
I mean, we talk about ADSK. So
okay, go ahead.
Looks like they beat here, $2.29 per share adjusted versus $2.14 expected. That's a beat. Their revenue, though, was a miss. 1.6 bill versus 1.63 bill expected. Their EBIT margin here, 22%. Adjusted EBITDA, 37%. Apparently, they're also going to be reallocating some resources to accelerate their strategic priorities. And they've also initiating some sales here and marketing optimization. So changing some of their strategic priorities. Sales miss, EPS beat for ADSK.
All right, Duolingo is out now as well. So what we were looking at for Duolingo, of course, was EPS of 50 cents. Revenues looking at 205. We'll find out if Duolingo has anything to talk about it. It looks like they will get a 51% daily active user growth for Duolingo. This stock has been an absolute beast, though. Nice upside move here for Duolingo. Neil and I talked about this all day. Like, there's a lot of stock that have fallen down that were great names. I mean, you know what? You know another name there? I didn't look at it for a minute was Reddit. This is a name that I think I like, and it's falling back in as well. Right now, if you're looking at charts and you like to buy stock, pretty much every stock you look at are going to be good ones. So what we're looking at here today, NTAP is out already, so that was a big one. Might have been the biggest one to come out so far here today. Look where we are right now. Sub 100 right now on NetApp. So that's a big move to the downside right now. Over $20 downside on NTAP. Give us 20% downside.
Oh, I have them.
The implied move 7% on NTAP. NetApp. Code NTAP. NetApp downside right now. We wait for DELL though. This is going to be a big one. We'll wait to see what happens with DELL. But why don't we go over the numbers right now with NTAP, NetApp, because we are down quite significantly there.
Yeah, so EPS in line here, $1.91 per share. Their sales though were a miss, $1.64 billion versus $1.695 billion expected. Also with Autodesk, I had said that they missed. I was seeing that they missed on some different platforms. Benzinga, though, is actually saying Autodesk beat on revenue. So we're going to have to wait and sort that out. As I always say, sometimes we look at different estimates. So as of right now, it's a big time question mark as to whether or not Autodesk did beat revenue. It looks like definitely, though, they did beat earnings per share. So good look there for, excuse me, ADSK. We basically could get DELL at any second now, though, because it is 4:05 p.m. Also, Bears vs. Bulls, continue to put this link in the chat. That link here, it's for all the implied moves for today's earnings, and it will also give you the expected time for each ticker.
I want to say a big thank you to, we have the chat up right here. Let's say a big thank you to Robert Breedlove. I'm here for the daily, for his Sean and his after show, Big Energy. I want to thank Adara for bringing it as well. I'm the Kobe Bryant of the show. I don't know, I'll take that, but we've got a bunch of Kobe Bryants on our show. So we're really happy to keep providing everything we can to you guys, man. And if it's the Mamba mentality, I think I've got that. So thank you to everybody for all of that. All right, man, I'm waiting for DELL. I want to see what DELL's doing. Looks like you get a little bit of a fat finger, 111 to 112, all the way down to $100. We're going to wait to see what happens with DELL right now. No, man, we're not selling these shirts. I've talked about for a minute that we should be working on some sort of merch. Maybe we will at some point. This is for the party tomorrow. You've got your Eli Lilly.
Oh, yeah.
Neil's got his Just Hodl It, and a few other ones there. Amazon was the one for Obi. Okay, so we'll wait. We'll wait to see
I have Duolingo, too.
Yeah. So Duolingo, we can talk about that. We already looked at Duolingo. It's a little bit choppy there off the jump right now, but we'll have to wait to see what's going on with Duolingo. I'm going to log in to my account so we can get a live level 2 look. But do you want to go over the Duolingo numbers?
Yeah, let's go over Duo. So looks like they beat here for Q4 revenue, 209.6 mil versus 205.4 mil expected. Daily active users, 40.5 million. Monthly active users, 116.7 million. So they're having here their outlook for fiscal 2025, 962.5 mil to 978.5 mil. That is mostly above the estimate here of 965.9 mil. Certainly the midpoint is above estimates. Now we have DELL, though, so we're going to wait and refocus here to DELL, D-E-L-L. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to have to read through this report.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I do see the report out, but I don't see the headlines. So there it goes.
I'm just reading it.
Yeah, go get it. Right now, DELL looks like it wants to get to the upside again. The implied move for DELL today, we are looking at 9.8%. They were looking at revenue of 24 with an EPS of 252. We'll get that for you in a second with DELL. Looks like it's trying to go upside right now. Another stock that you don't have to like NVIDIA, you don't have to like any of the chip names, but they got to go into racks, they got to go into servers. So we're going to see about DELL here. We're also going to see about SMCI in the same space. And then later on, we have HPQ. But if you're just looking out here and you're wondering like what all this is, man, disaster strikes today in the market, man. But DELL right now up about $5 right now for DELL. Nice upside move. Did you park?
Yeah, I have the numbers.
All right, let's
go. We did miss on revenue. I just wanted to make sure before I said that because it looked like a miss, but we did in fact miss. So revenue here, a miss, 23.93 bill versus 24.56 billion expected. EPS adjusted was a beat, 2.68 versus $2.53 expected. So let's look here. They're expecting for fiscal 2026 here.
SoundHound is out.
A year ahead. They're seeing adjusted revenue or adjusted earnings per share, $9.30. That's above estimates of $9.23. Revenue, they're seeing 101 to 105 billion versus 103.17 billion expected. So EPS guide for the year was a beat. Revenue guide for the year, more or less in line. There's a lot more numbers there, but we should get into SoundHound in the meantime. We can go through DELL in more detail. later. Okay, I have to read through the SOUN report.
Yeah, no
here,
problem, no
John.
problem. I'm actually going to put this up right here. I'm going to see if I can do a better job of this moving forward. If you go over to my Twitter, you go over to Trader TV Research as well with Adara, you have right here, these are the earnings. It's not going to go good. I'm going to have to figure this out. But this is what we're looking for right here. The revenues, the implied moves, and everything like that. So right now we do have out. Oh, every time I click it, it's going to go away. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so the move that we're looking for, Dell, nice upside play right there. Something else just came out. Oh, SOUN.
Yeah, I have
SOUN just came out as well. So let's go over there. SOUN. There it is. So SOUN, nice little move to the upside again. A relatively shortable name. What's the short float on SOUN? Short float 31%.
It's massive.
I'm getting warm up in here, man. These lights, man. All of the lights. No more Kanye. Not allowed to sing any more Kanye. The guy's a little bit unhinged a little bit here. But SOUN, nice upside move. Let's go talk about SOUN.
Yeah, so from what I'm seeing, it looks like they did beat revenue. Like I said, I always like to wait till we see everything, but $34.5 million, that's up 101% year over year, and it's above the estimate that I'm seeing of $33.49 million. Here, they did have fourth quarter GAAP gross margin 39.9%. Their fourth quarter adjusted EBITDA was a loss of $16.8 million. So the GAAP earnings per share of negative 69 cents, non-GAAP earnings per share negative 5 cents. So looks like we could have come in with a smaller loss than expected, but again, I want to wait to the estimates for that. Just to recap here, SOUN losing 5 cents per share on a non-GAAP basis. Looks like they beat on revenue up 101% year over year.
So Monster, we're looking for an EPS of 40 cents. They get 28 cents. So it looks like they'll miss, but a little bit of a tick higher right now on MNST. Not buying enough of those drinks, Adair. We got to get a little bit more of those.
I don't drink Monster.
Yeah, you don't like Monster. Okay. It looks like it's going to be a beat on sales and a miss on earnings. But right now, MNST, not doing too much. Just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. I think the big story of the day right now is going to be Dell. Let's hope that this can hold this level. Let's have a little bit of a check-in on the weakest name today. I mean, there's going to be weaker names, but really the one that we're all interested in is NVIDIA. NVIDIA down 10%. Well, 9% today, but it's down like 14% from its open. Not a great day there for NVIDIA. If we go over to a 3-minute chart, the minute we lost that 200 period right there and the low of the morning, I mean, the low of the morning, you can go all the way back into here, into 4 a.m. was $130. It danced around a little bit, but at the end of the day, wow, you are now at lows for NVIDIA. I never saw 120 on the open market today. Here's what NVIDIA looks like a live level 2 right now. There it is right in here, 120 and change. Oh boy, we actually finally went short right there at 124. Look at it just bleed here in the after hours. Live look on NVIDIA, 120 and change. Let's have a quick look at what Tesla's doing. I'm gonna take a drink here, vodka. Downside move right now for Tesla. Keeps on going down, 280, 281. We could talk all about this. I just want to give you a live little look there on Tesla. And then SMCI, what are we doing off that Dell number? It looks like it wants to kind of do nothing, but at the end of the day, SMCI today down 15.5%. Not great, guys, moving forward. So we'll wait for SMCI, but a very, very bad day right now for that. Just heard some news about Boeing, not really doing anything
Dell
right
raised
there.
their dividend.
As well, Dell raises a dividend. Let's see what that's doing. So Dell up to 113, not doing that much, man. I mean, this is where we were at 2 o'clock today. So Dell with a nice move, but not a great one. Let me put this back into a 1-minute chart. So yeah, hovering around a little bit, not a heck of a lot going on. Talk about Roblox. Well, what's going on with Roblox? Yeah, $60. I could talk about Roblox. We'll try to remind me to do this as things settle down. Look, I got my PayPal got dinged this morning because Roblox got put back into one of my kids' accounts. I still pay $15 a month, get them some Robux. Again, not that bad, but a software name there. I like Roblox. Again, I think that it's for my kids anyways. They're always trying to play it. They really haven't got into that commerce side of things yet, so I'm interested in that. I always thought it would be pretty cool if you could go in there, walk into like a Nike store in Brookhaven or something like that and start to buy some of those, but I guess that never really happened. The next one we're looking for is Archer, so we'll wait to see if that comes out anytime soon right here. Archer Aviation, another big name with a short float that we'll wait to see if that's going to do anything. The number we're looking at for Archer, minus 29 cents on revenue of 500. So we'll wait to see if that number can come out and hopefully in the positive zone. What we're looking for right now, SoundHound is out. We're looking for Rocket Labs, SOUN. There we sort of went over that, up to $10. So that's going to be a nice move. And then RKLB, another heavily shorted name that I know a lot of traders are invested in, Rocket Lab right now. Traders like this name, but again, if you're going to look up here at the short float, 13% right now short. The short float on SoundHound was 31%. So that's definitely a downside play right now for SoundHound. So what do you want to talk about?
We'll talk about Dell here because the guidance is kind of mixed. I did mention here their fiscal 2026 revenue guidance was kind of in line. So they guided 101 bill to 105 bill. And the estimate here was 103.172 bill, so basically exactly in line. They did beat here in their EPS guidance for fiscal 2026, but their revenue and EPS guide for next quarter both a miss. So they're guiding Q1 2026 revenue between 22.5 billion and 23.5 billion. That's below the estimate of 23.59 billion. They also guided adjusted EPS here, $1.65 per share versus estimates of $1.76 per share. So this Dell look here, not great guidance. It is worth noting here, pretty much every metric, they were up on a year-over-year basis for the quarter and the fiscal year, except for their gross margin, because their gross margin, Sean, was down for the quarter, and it was also down on a year-over-year basis, like for the fiscal year. So gross margin kind of an issue, and in case you guys missed it, I mentioned it a couple times yesterday and also today, NVIDIA had issues with their gross margin as well. That was the one negative part of their report. It came in flat, and their gross margin guidance was not good. So gross margin does matter to investors, especially with a company that beat on pretty much all other metrics.
All right, we're doing it live. We're going to do a shout out right now. I want you to come over to my screen because Adair puts in a lot of work. This is one of the better follows right now. Oh, this is not Trader TV, Sean. I want to do this. Trader TV research. So here it is right now. Go over, find this one. Over 25,000 followers already on this account. Look at some of the stuff that's been put out. If you're going to follow earnings right now, I mean, and you're okay, Rocket Labs is out. I just want to give everyone a shout out. Give Adair one at TTV Research. Go find it. I'm retweeting stuff there as much as I can. So I want to thank Adara for all of that. And that's where we're getting numbers like this. Like, I don't know what Rocket Lab's expectation is. Oh, man, I wish I had a puke emoji right there because there it is, a nice downside move right now for Rocket Labs. It's getting disgusting right now. And I'm just looking at her thing right now, 14.4%. We're going to wait to see what's happening. It looks like it's going to hit what's expected, but it's a downside move right now for Rocket Lab. We also want to say a shout out to Benzinga. We're using live Benzinga news, breaking news. So when that comes out, it will light up right in there. Adair, I can see, is focusing, getting those numbers for you. Yeah. There it is. HPQ is now out as well. So SoundHound upside, Rocket Labs downside, SOUN. Check out this move. Bang, up to 1075 there for SoundHound's a good one. All right, we do have HPQ. So HPQ, yeah, go ahead. HPQ does come out. Looks like a little lower, similar to Dell. What's going on?
So HPQ here is in line earnings per share here at 74 cents. Sales a beat here, 13.5 bill versus 13.36 bill. Not a super exciting report. Rocket Lab is worth noting, and I want to say I just read through the report, and this is a really weirdly worded report. Like our revenue is up however much from Q4 2021. I'm like, why are you using a quarter from 3 years ago? Kind of a weird way to measure your success. But regardless, they did miss here Q4 revenue. Okay, I want to look at this again because the revenue that I read is not the same revenue I'm seeing here. So I'm going to stay mute on that number. Net loss here, 52.3 mil, slightly above the expected loss of 51.1 mil. Pre-tax loss also above estimates, operating loss above estimates, operating expenses of $88.4 million. So the reason I want to be cautious here about revenue is because the number I was seeing in their report for revenue is not the same number that I'm seeing here being circulated online. So I want to wait. I want to trust the number in the report, but I don't want to say anything until I know for sure.
Okay, good. Yeah, we'll do that, and Adair will do it. Like, the thing is very, very important because we're all the way down here at 1650 on Rocket Lab. Yeah. And if you're going on the daily chart, that's that gap fill. So we'll have to wait to see that if you come over here, just quickly, I'll just show this gap. That $14.75 to $15, there's the gap up there to right where we are right now at 1670. So we got to hold this gap. And it's kind of funny that it's right at the 200 period moving average. So all right, no guests, so we're doing it live. Now today, we'll return to some guests next week when things slow down just a little bit, but there's Rocket Labs, not a great day for them right here, right now. Look, I'm in a great mood today, I mean, pretty much every day, but I want to do another thing right here. I don't do this enough. Shout out to, there it is. Bears versus Bulls at West_minor. So I just want to say that, but there it is. It's Bears versus Bulls. Big thank you. Give him some more follows, man. He needs to be over 1,000. So let's get that. Thank you so much, man. We do appreciate you. We do see some comments there in the chat all the time. This guy's running everything for us, Streamlabs, all of that. So thank you so much again. to Bears versus Bulls. I'm not going to shout out his name because anonymity, but at the end of the day, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Bears versus Bulls, for everything you do.
For all of that. It means a heck of a lot to us. So.
It is much appreciated. I also want to mention here, apparently the SEC has officially announced its dismissal of the civil enforcement action against Coinbase.
Ooh.
So Coinbase is a huge sell the news situation that we had going on here on Friday. Now it has officially been news. We heard Brian Armstrong talk about it. Now apparently SEC has announced the dismissal of the civil enforcement action against Coinbase. Now, I'd be looking at Robinhood here as well, because Robinhood was another company that was dealing with this from the SEC, came out earlier this week, said, hey, we're all good now, but we don't have any evidence of that. So I would be watching Robinhood here. In addition, RKLB announcing their Flatellite, which is apparently a satellite built for mass production in large constellations. As I said, I know, okay, here we go. So it looks like I was right to not say the sales number yet, because it's some number I thought was in fact correct.
Too.
Yeah, well, that's because people were distributing the wrong number, Sean.
Good.
But I didn't want to add to that, which is why I waited. So sales here, $132.39 million versus estimates here of $130.58 million. The reason I waited is because people online were saying $84 million. And so I was like, that was not the report I read, but I wanted to wait and just hold back. Earnings per share here for Q4 were in line with estimates, a loss of 10 cents per share. I think they were slightly below, but like when you round it up to per share, it would be in line.
Okay, good. Funny Darwin there. He's like, LOL, it seems like, what, you mean Bears and Bulls isn't his full name? No, there's an and in there.
That's amazing.
And, right?
Bears.
No, Bears. Actually, what is it?
Bears versus Bulls. So
Bears
BBB.
versus, middle name versus. Yeah, not it. What do you got in there anyways, by the way?
Matcha.
Matcha, yeah, you love them. Oh, you got the matcha latte this time.
I did.
Yesterday you got frozen one or the...
Yeah, I got the frozen one a couple days ago. I usually like frozen. That was like cold today. So it was hot in the studio, as you mentioned. I should have done.
Oh man, it feels like it's boiling hot right here too.
Oh my God.
Okay, but yeah, matcha, good one there. Oh man, it's too bad you're off tomorrow. I didn't realize you're off tomorrow. Okay, well, enjoy the day.
It's on the calendar.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's on the calendar. I mean, I just don't...
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'll be back here tomorrow night anyway for Obi's party.
The news, Brendo?
I guess so.
Okay.
I don't know, but...
No, what Ramin's going to be doing.
The news will read itself. Oh my God, Ramin's doing the news?
Yeah, she's doing the news.
I'm really excited to hear Ramin's take on the news. Get it, Ramin?
Oh yeah, maybe she's not actually after all of that. Yeah, we don't
I
know.
think if she does it, Sharif will just troll her every time that we're not going to be able to hear the news.
Yeah. Her and Sharif are so funny. They love each other, and it's just like, oh, back and forth all the time.
It's amazing.
Okay, so yeah, shout out to Ramin and everybody. That's part of our great family here as we continue to go on and on and on. Okay, all right. So Rocket Labs. Let's just review some of the plays today, and I'll talk a little bit about the day. Obviously, as we had a bad day overall. There, we go out near the lows. That's kind of sucky. We did have a great short on the futures at the end of the day. We'll talk about that. I just feel that that's part of what we're doing. If you break lows coming into 3 o'clock, into 3:20, really feel like that momentum can continue into the close, and that did what happened today, and it was definitely a good one. So Dell kind of flat right now. Good report. We can review some of those numbers again, but not bad. Let's just look over right now at some of the movement in the stock, not the actual reports themselves. Oh, but before we go, shout out to Obi. So that party happens tomorrow. That's why we're all wearing these fun shirts there. Go over on Twitter and find out some Obi love.
And he's not leaving the floor. Some people were asking if he's leaving. Obi's not leaving, guys. Obi is still here. Oh boy, will be said once again. Amazon will be traded yet again. No, I'm joking.
The reason why he's here is for the show.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I'm assuming you would probably, a lot of traders have traded from home, you know, but we really love the way Obi presents and how he trades and the relationship that he's obviously built with everybody there. So we want to thank Obi for coming in every day and having our back when we get sick or when we have days off, things like that. So big shout out to Obi for staying real with us. We definitely appreciate that. And yeah, man, if he tries to leave, that door is being barricaded.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so immediately we'll cut off his account. He'll be, no, just playing around. He can do whatever he wants, but we do appreciate Obi coming through. All right, so NTAP. Let's just review some quick names here, just real quick, and then we'll talk a little bit about the day. So NTAP, nice move to the downside there. Obviously, it did drop about 20% at its lows, even lower than that, $96. So NTAP will have to watch out for that. ADSK, again, Autodesk. Good movement to the upside, but still stalling out here at 300. Again, bouncing off the 200 period would be nice, but right now you're up at the 50 period, looking pretty healthy. That's really nice to see with ADSK. Another name that a lot of traders I don't know if a lot of traders are in this or not, but Duolingo kind of flat there on their report, so not much happening there for Duo. The big one that I feel like most traders are in, if you're in any of these names, it might be DELL. So DELL right now kind of flat, and I like this play. I think it's like an auxiliary play against what's been happening. Again, you're going to have to put these chips into PCs. You're going to have to put them in racks. So I do like DELL right now. Although we're underneath, this could be a little bit of a hidden play there. And then Archer, again, if we're going to look at that, nice move downside there over the last couple of days. Archer,
ACHR.
Yeah, ACHR right here. So it's not out yet.
Oh, so it actually has been out since 4.
Okay.
They came out early, but the thing is, I was trying to read through the report, Sean. I could not make heads or tails of it because the way that they posted it was so obtuse. They didn't have anything compared to previous. They only had their current numbers. They were not organized in a clear way. And so I was like, I don't even want to attempt to make any headway at this. And I think the market also thought they hadn't reported just because everyone was so confused by the weirdness of this report. It came out at 4 o'clock. Now at 4:23, Benzinga has finally released a summary. That's how confusing a report it was. Larger than expected loss per share here, which was not even a metric I found in the report. So $1.42 versus estimates of $1.24 loss per share, which means it was a miss, technically speaking. Larger losses, not the vibe.
Yeah, okay, so good look there. I thought that they had reported, but I knew we didn't hear from you on it. But yeah, so not much going on right now for Archer. So okay, another name there, Clover came and went. It looks like again, this report is out, but not doing much. I'm just going to go over everything. A couple more names, then we'll talk about the broader market. I want to thank 6,000 of you for staying. I mean, you're not all here right now. Over 4,000 of you. Make sure you do hit this like button and get that going. We'll see if we can get 1,000 likes there on the after show. That would be real nice. Monster Beverage. It looked like they weren't really going to the upside, but now it looks like they do. So a nice move up there for MNST today as well. 2 more to go. SOUN. Again, congratulations on this one for anybody that took a shot on this name. Again, another AI play. We had read that NVIDIA was in it. They were in it, but I think they've since exited on this. There was that report about some of the newer positions there that they were looking at. But SOUN, again, I didn't draw this, but it doesn't matter. Let's get rid of it for now. But yeah, that trend right now, straight to the, that might have been too loud, straight to the downside right there. My kids are always like, how can you whistle? It's hard to teach someone to whistle.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's different techniques involved. I've never been the type. I can't do it with my fingers, but
me neither.
We can whistle while we work, that's for sure.
Like that.
All right, so SOUN right there. Rocket Labs, another big name here, over 13% short float. We'll see what happens. Again, some of these names, froth coming out, man, $30 down to 20, now down to 17. And great job by Adair there. Didn't want to jump the gun on the rev number. Good job she didn't. Although we're kind of still where we were, we did get that nice bump back up into $19, so watch out for Rocket Labs. Rocket's heading downside. And then HPQ right now as well to end it. Kind of a nothing report, but downside as well. So it's looking pretty ugly out there, that is for sure. Now let's talk a little bit about broader market. All right, a lot of people are going to be panicking, right? And I'm kind of one of them right now. Not panicking in the fact that, hey, what the markets are doing. I feel like there's a lot of individual well-held names that are just getting clobbered right now, and it's not that they're individual stock specific. It's kind of broader market. So when you're looking at the NASDAQ, you are pulling back in, but look at some of these names like a Google. This one's way below the 200 period moving average. Not exactly sure what the problem is. I think it's the build out of, we had Tencent come out today and say that they're doing something even cheaper than DeepSeek. So there's a lot out there right now that are affecting some of these mega, the word I'm looking for is, so NVIDIA sells to, there's 4 of them, Amazon.
Mag 7?
No, not the Mag 7. Anyways, someone will have it in here. But it's Amazon, it's Microsoft, it's Alphabet. It's these build-outs right now that have spent all this money on these big chips, and maybe that money not well spent, especially if they're not monetizing it right now. We had news from Microsoft today that came out, and they started going to the MSFT. Again, with ChatGPT 4, I think it was, or something that was being released. Look at these guys, man. I mean, Microsoft hasn't done, hyperscalers. Thank you, Sean. Great name, by the way. Thank you for saving me right there. After saying, someone let me know, is there an app on Apple that will just like track how many words you say in a day? Because honestly, like right now, when I go home, it's like I try to crash, but then I got to talk to the kids. Oh, tonight's chess, by the way. So
nice.
a
Enjoy it.
little relaxing. We'll play some chess there. But yeah, the hyperscalers. So Amazon, let's have a quick look. Look at Microsoft right now, right? Microsoft getting absolutely clobbered. Microsoft hasn't done anything in a year and a half, all the way back here to last January and beyond. So we'll wait to see if Microsoft can do anything. Amazon, two Amazons. Amazon, bless you. Amazon, same way, right? Coming back in. Watch out for the 200 period. At least Amazon has a retail business, but again, AWS, they launched new Alexa yesterday, but what is it built on top of, right? Amazon's trying to also develop their own chips. So this is why this name's pretty interesting. I know that Google has their own chips in their phones and everything like that. Apple not getting hit as much because they don't have the investment in the space, right? But generally speaking, I think right now, if you're not in many of these names, you may want to look at them near the 200 period moving average. There's many ways to back test. I just think you should do that. Go back, call up a weekly chart so you can breathe a little bit easier. Yeah, there it goes again. I just heard you say about something.
Yeah, Meta. So I somehow missed this story. I missed this story just in the mix of all the earnings. This, not much of a reaction, but I think it's worth noting here. CNBC reporting that Meta is looking to release a standalone Meta AI app. Apparently they're going to be testing a paid subscription service for Meta AI. They're really just going to model it apparently after OpenAI and how they charge fees for access to better versions of ChatGPT. That's, again, reported by CNBC, but just long and short of it, they're looking to release a standalone Meta AI app. Again, they're not confirmed.
Wait a minute, didn't we have, I thought I saw SMR was supposed to go today.
They changed their earnings March 3rd. They rescheduled.
Oh, no. Okay, I don't, so here's SMR. I just saw someone say something about Oklo there in the chat. Let's hope that second half of March is seasonally positive, Harry. Yeah, so SMR, again, another name that we didn't get out at the top. In creating generational wealth with this stock. But yeah, down to 1675 again. SMR, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bad. I was just wondering, someone said something about Oklo, same kind of ways, man. Nice downside move there. Is Oklo moving in the after hours? No, they are not. So, okay. Yeah, vocal. Yeah, I'm a vocal hyperscaler. Yeah, that's probably about right there, guys. All right, yeah, my kid just downloaded one of is there a new Pokemon game for Switch? I just saw my wife ask me if it was okay. Of course it is, to download that. All right, SOUN right now. Nice move. We'll see if this can get going. I do think that this is one of the better winners here. We'll be trading this tomorrow. I like the bounce there off of $8 and change. A name that I'm trying to buy the dips in. It looks like the dips are not stopping. Big Bear AI down to $5. I do like that name right now. We're getting sort of long in the tooth a little bit. I just want to show you one little thing here. Here it is, a stock heat map. Because it was nasty today, right? So here's a stock heat map just for today. We can zoom in on any of these things, but there's Tesla. Is that even right? No, Tesla was down much more than 3%, wasn't it? No, okay, that's right. So Tesla actually only down 3%. I thought it was a little bit worse than that. So Tesla down 3, Amazon down 2.6, Meta. Where were there some pockets of strength? Finance. Although we talked about where JP Morgan is, that's down at the 50 period. I believe that's worth a buy as well. But Berkshire, why do you think Berkshire is up so much, Adara? Any ideas?
Well, I mean, they had, to be fair, I think it's probably strength also off of Monday because they had their earnings, which were really well received. BRKB,
you know what they're sitting on?
Tons of cash, so much cash. So I feel like that's also really relaxing for people. They're not invested in as much Apple or as much Coke. They can just chill with all of Buffett's moolah and hang out with
Look at where
money.
Berkshire is right now. I mean, we started buying this one at the beginning of the year. We actually made the Dow Jones one of our top plays, but I should have made it Berkshire. Nice. Berkshire is sitting at the highs of all time. Come over the chart just real quickly for Berkshire, and then we'll show you that. There it goes, Berkshire. Never fear, Warren Buffett is here. But who else is here? It's roll call. All right, thank you so much for joining us one more time here today, man. It's a Thursday. Adara, have a great weekend. I know you'll be here tomorrow. I will see you, but the people will not. Well, maybe you'll show up.
Maybe. See what time
camera. We'll see what time you get here tomorrow. But Adara on the day off. But you guys are still here, so join us tomorrow at 8:30. But let me look at the screen here and just say a hi and a shout out to people that are still here. Hey, what's up, Adam DeLuz? I saw your note there in the chat, Adam. Adam's like, hey, if Obi ever leaves, this guy will fly down, fill in for a couple days. Would love that, Adam. If you're ever back into Toronto, I don't mind sitting beside you for a couple hours. That'll be fun. All right, what's up, Trip 112? Yeah, man. Hey, someone wants to pay. I'd love to go to Turkey. That's for sure. And yeah, man, we'll get some wild hair going on if we're gonna do that. That is 100% sure. All right, there's Adam. What's up, Bears versus Bulls? What's up to Elizabeth as well? What's up to Rainmaker, Sean and Neil? Hey, wait, what's up going on? What's going on, my guy? Right there, Christopher Leroy as well. David Michael, TC Streamlabs. A big shout out to Bears versus bulls. Adair, say hi to somebody.
Hello, T.S. Booger was telling me to wear green even if I'm not in tomorrow. We'll see what color I wear, I don't even know. Rajesh here, Sean Neal, Sebastian Ontiveros. We have Bora Hout versus Bulls taking to everything you do. We have Erie Pages, Rainmaker Trip, 1122, Angry Bear. Sure, not Angry Fear Bear today. You had Stock Up and you had Nicole and Showtime. I love that one because Showtime for us today, it's over. It's done.
it.
The show is done.
The show is done.
R.I.P. the show.
Bang, great show. Okay, thank you so much for joining. Obviously, we're a little bit exhausted, man. That was very, what a tiring day, man. The market just kept on selling right there into the close. Remember, we did go out near the lows. I don't like that as a sign. I would say hold your cards tight tomorrow because could be another one of these kind of days. So I'm going to be looking short off the jump tomorrow. Make sure you join me at 8:30. And Dara, have a great time.
Thank
This
you.
is the potato.
There's some French fries.
French
Someone
fries.
trade some spread for me. See you guys on Monday.
We will. We'll trade some Eli Lilly. See you guys.
Oh, nice.